Yes, everybody, welcome back to the Irish Hotspur. Hopefully, everybody is keeping well. All of you Spurs fans, as we're about 30 minutes away from the North London Derby, we're going into the Lions' Den. Let's see if we can take something from them because everybody has dropped points this weekend. Let's hope if we can make Arsenal do as well. And also, if we were to pick up a result here, I think that would get a lot of people on the Thomas Frank train if they aren't already. And it's a good opportunity as well for the players, I think, to get some confidence in themselves and just think for the whole fan base in general, really. So it's a big game. We've been without football for about 2 weeks, of course, because of international break. Some people would like to ease into it, maybe with a game against a Burnley. Why not go big? Why not go with the North London Derby away from home match, get ourselves back into the football mood? Because we're about to go into a big slog of games throughout this winter period. So I'm looking forward to it. Look forward to seeing what these guys are made of as well. It's one of the biggest tests, if not the biggest test that we have faced this season. Our away form is incredible, but this is going to be a real test of that away form. Of course, Thomas Frank had some difficult decisions to pick the lineup. You have plenty of players coming back from injury. The only one that he really did select, you would say, was probably Muhammad Kudus. I think we all knew if he was in any way available, he probably was going to try to get
Mhm.
him into the lineup. But as you can see here, I think Thomas Frank is going for back five, back three of sorts. We have Vicario in goals. We have the likes of Danzo, Van de Ven, Romero at center back, something that we saw in the PSG game. He hasn't ever done that basically until this game, really. So it's only the second time that we've seen a version of the back five to start things off with. But I think he has gotten the fullback decision right. I think Pedro Porro, of course, we all know, very good threat going forward, helpful from set pieces. But you imagine the first 45 minutes or so, if not even longer, it's going to be a real defensive game for Spurs. We are going to be probably put under the cosh. We're going to be put under pressure. So it might be better off picking some of your better one-on-one defenders. So he has gone for Jed Spence on the right, who rarely features on the right, rarely gets a start there. So big opportunity for him. And then Destiny Udogi returns to the lineup. He is going to be starting at left back. In terms of the midfield, it's going to be Paulinho as well as Bentancur, two must-needed players for big games like this, especially defensive ones. And then it's a tricky one with how the shape might be with the forward line. We have Kudus, Richarlison instead of Colomwani, and then the likes of Odebear as well. Will Odebear play just behind them through the middle? Will it be a front three shape of two wingers and a striker? Difficult call, really, to gauge with. I guess we'll find out once the game gets kicked off. It also might even be a different formation, both in possession but out of
Yeah.
possession. There might be two different shapes, and we've seen that actually a lot under Thomas Frank, where when we're out of possession, we sort of sit in a different type of shape. But then when we're going forward, it changes into something else, really. So maybe keep an eye out on that one. And of course, keep an eye out for any set pieces to happen because it's two teams that are probably the most deadly going forward from set pieces, but also at defending them. They've both been very, very good this season. Dave, it's a massive one. And like I said, after being away on international break, I guess there's no better way of coming back into it with such a massive game like this.
Look, Jack, it's the biggest game of the season. The two fixtures everybody looks for as soon as the fixtures are released. When's the North London Derby at home? When's the North London Derby away? And
Even
look,
neutral fans, it's like the Super Bowl, really, sometimes. Yeah.
everyone wants this game. It's going to be the most scrutinized game of the Premier League. Up to date. As soon as this game is done, the reaction is going to be absolutely everywhere. All the biggest TV channels across the world are, setting up their panels and all for today's game. They're all covering today's game. That shows the magnitude of the North London Derby, and it's just the hatred between the two sides. Of course, we're the original North London team. They came up from South London to North London and started taking some of our catchment areas and stuff like that. So it's about defending our turf, defending our territory. It's like letting someone into your house and burgling it all the time. The way Arsenal have been going on. It's about time that started to turn. And look, with Thomas Frank, it's a new era. No Harry Kane, no Sonny for the first competitive North London derby since 2014. This is a new era, and it's about time Thomas Frank and his team, started defining how Tottenham are going to be moving forward. And that starts with today by taking something at the Emirates. It's not a must-win, but we need to see a committed performance from this team. Now, look, looking up at the lineup, Jack, the way I sort of think Thomas Frank is going to set it up is I think it's going to be a 5-4-1 out of possession, but I think then that will revert to a 3-4-2-1 in possession with Kudus and Udeberg maybe playing inside with Jed Spence and Destiny Adogi providing the width. And I think that's designed, to get all of these more physical players in there to be able to deal
Hmm.
with Arsenal set pieces, but also B, to compact ourselves right through the middle so that we can try and eliminate Arsenal's attacking threat. And the more we can sort of eliminate that, the less corner kicks they're going to get to be able to cause us problems. And make no mistake about it, I know some people look at it and say it's scared, it's pragmatic. I understand that, but you also have to understand we're walking into the Lions Den here. They hate us. Their instructions from the off from the managers: use that crowd, go straight at Tottenham, put them under pressure. And their narrative would be: you put pressure on Tottenham, they crumble. So this lineup is picked to counteract that. And I think there's more than enough in this lineup to be able to go and get pressure on the ball rather than actually sit in and be pragmatic. It's about the instructions, that are given to these players with this lineup that's put out. Like, for instance, I think dropping Pedro Porro today, right decision for Jed Spence. Playing the doggy back out a left back, bringing him into the team, right decision, because you need two fullbacks or wing backs, which they're playing today, to get out and engage the ball. Stop them crosses coming in, stop them from cutting inside. Very, very important. But also with Arsenal, the midfielders, they're all capable of scoring from distance. Eze,
Yeah.
Zubimendi, Rice, Trossard is capable, Saka's capable, Marino's capable. So it's all about, blocking up the middle as well and getting pressure in and stopping
Yeah.
that threat as well. And then once we can do that, Jack, there is options to break, but break very, very quickly. Spence down one side, a doggy down the other, Kudos, Udapur, Richarlison, all breaking forward. And by the way, that brings me on to the main man himself, Jacko. Big Rich, big call from Thomas Frank today. Look, it's a huge one because me personally, if Mwani's back on the training pitch, I don't understand why he can't start today's game. But, our hopes really do depend on Richarlison because we are going to need someone that can get a hold of that ball, or at least, lay it off to others so that we can relieve some pressure at times so we can get out. If he can't do that, it's just going to be relentless for one half. We can't afford to get trapped into that. So we need a massive game from Richarlison. And you just hope off his goal against Man United, although it wasn't anything great, sometimes you just need the ball to slap you somewhere and head in. And all of a sudden that can unleash a lot of confidence. Hopefully we see that. And I just have a sneaky suspicion today we could all be doing the pigeon celebration. And I hope we are. It's a big game for him.
Get those neck exercises in, everybody. We don't want any injuries. We already have such a long injury list. We don't want any in the fan base. I'm not surprised that he's gone with Richarlison. If Kolo Muani was pushing himself to be fit, it's one of those where, yes, I think Kolo Muani offers a bit more than Richie, but in these games, sometimes it is just about a guy that is going to be a hard worker, someone that is just going to be willing to run around, put in a real shift. And if you are in any way not 100%, it's a difficult game to really put yourself into because oftentimes it's more just about the physical aspect than it really is about sometimes the technical side of things. Maybe later on in the game is when sort of the technical
Mm.
players can maybe get their freedom to be able to express themselves a bit more than, let's say, the less technically gifted guys. But if Richie's willing to work hard off of the ball, if he's willing to also make unselfish runs, sort of to stretch the defense, if he's also willing to sort of challenge for headers in the box when we do get into crossing situations, maybe that's what's kind of needed. Just the bare bones, kind of brutish, type of stuff that strikers sometimes do have to do. And I don't mind, Richie, he has frustrated me a lot this season, but today I'm not that surprised and I'm not too upset with him getting into the lineup. I am really encouraged by seeing Odebear being picked for this game. I think Thomas Frank has already name dropped him a few times this season as someone that he's been impressed by, but I think that was also a big call is whether he goes with an extra midfielder like a Pop
Mm.
Montasar or maybe a Bergval or a Chavi for this game. He's gone with Odebear, and he's also gone with Odebear over Brennan Johnson as well. So that's something also I'm
I
getting
think
encouraged by that Odebear seems to be taking a real liking to Thomas Frank.
Well, I think he deserves the shout though, Jack, and I think that nod in North London Derby should give him even more confidence. To be honest with you, because look with Udabur, I mean, we even seen under Ange Postecoglou, he can carry that ball, he can beat players.
Yeah.
The big question was, when's the end product going to come? Will it come? Against Man United, made a massive impact off the bench, involved in both goals. Against Copenhagen, involved in a couple of the goals. Massive impact. He's earned this start today, and that relationship between him and Destiny Udogie down that left-hand side has been the most productive out of all the combinations that Thomas Frank has chosen. So I think based on, confidence, and at the end of the day, right, we're so void of confidence going forward. You've got to play players with any sort of confidence at all, and hopefully that confidence then starts to sort of be that spark that we need, because we can't just rely on set pieces. We do have to be able to pose a threat from open play. And I mean, there's no bigger or better, platform than today, Jack, to be able to say, look, that was a narrative that's forming, we're going to put it to bed. It's a
Yeah.
huge, confidence vote in Udebert today, and I really hope the kid shines.
Yeah, and also as well, like it's a confidence shout in maybe Kevin Danzo, the fact that he has, opted to go with the back five. He knows that he's a guy that he can rely on, maybe even from set pieces. That might have been another aspect, is just to have Romero, Van de Ven, and Danzo all to kind of be there to be challenging and battling for these set pieces. Then we can use the likes of Odebear and Kudus on the break, maybe from one of them, guys that can really stretch or to get us up the pitch. I don't mind the lineup. I actually think Thomas Frank has gone for a version of it that I can really get behind and I can really understand. And that's been a big talking point under Thomas Frank. You have to admit, right, that lots of times we've been sort of questioning the decisions around the team selection and the lineup. I think today, for the most part, most people should be relatively happy or kind of see the logic with what he's gone with today.
Well,
So fair
I
play to
think most
Thomas.
I think most people expected it coming into today's game, even before the injury news was announced, that we were going to employ one of Thomas Frank's special operations. That's what he calls this formation. He's special operation, and I was all for going,
Hopefully the
all
patient
army
doesn't
mode
die.
on them. Yeah, look, I was all for that sort of army sort of speak, special operations and stuff like that for the PSG game, and I'm certainly think it's the right time to deploy it today. Today is absolute war, but Jack, you know the team being up for it and putting in the performance, Thomas Frank picking the right lineup is only half the battle in games
Yep.
like this, because you also need some favour from the referee. And today we've got Oliver Twist and Stuart Pratwell in VAR, notoriously two referees that don't really give us a fair rub of the green. And, in games like this, the home team tend to get a lot of the decisions. So if that does happen today, there needs to be a message sent on from the coaching staff today to not let it get out of hand, not start reacting, but just compose yourself and go and prove it and be more determined then to go and win that game. It is vital we don't give Oliver any reasons to give us silly yellow cards, or, that can lead to us sending off and really change the game and make it even harder than what it needs to be. So we just need Michael Oliver to be a bit fair today and Stuart Pratwell to give the right decisions.
Yeah. And just something else to add maybe is that with Thomas Frank, I think a lot of people maybe who did understand him and kind of maybe vouched for him, because a lot of people said, "Oh, he plays this amazing tackling football." I'm not sure
Yeah.
if that was ever the case, but the one thing that I think we all probably knew about Thomas Frank is that he is someone that thinks really deeply about the tactical setup for maybe games like this one. When he does have time on the training ground and when he does have time to maybe think about a match ahead of time, he can, really look at every single micro detail. He's not just going to sort of roll out the same thing
Mm.
every time. He is going to really think about the opposition. And sometimes that hurts you where you're thinking about the opposition too much. But I think also there is a benefit to it as well, where this is an area that I can hurt them. This is an area they can hurt us. I need to go with this player in this position. I need to go with this sort of type of shape. He's a guy that thinks really deeply about that stuff. We know he loves using his magnets. He's probably been using magnets all
Mm.
week, with how he feels like the team needs to go about this game. So I think that's something that plenty of people were kind of vouching for previously under different managers that maybe just went with sort of the same thing every time. So let's
And
hope that we get to see the benefit of that as well, really ahead of this one. And
and
I don't mind, in bigger games like this, sometimes, like I said to you, a bit of pragmatism, bit of maybe more conservative kind of defensive approach. I know it's different ways of thinking about the game. I'm not saying one is right over the other. I sometimes tend to prefer that maybe in games like this. I think it can actually end up really suiting you.
And look, Thomas Frank the way he gives the interview now before the game, before
Yeah.
kickoff, he was asked about, his approach today, and basically said, he's called upon the players to be cool, brave, and aggressive in order to beat Arsenal today. Becoming a Spurs manager, you understand even more so the importance of this match, which, shows to me he's clearly instructing the instructions, if I'm taken from that, is to not sit so deep within this formation, try and get out and engage the ball, and try and push Arsenal back and go and chase a lot of balls down and put pressure on them, and in possession try and be brave. So it'll be interesting to see how we get on.
Yeah.
Don't mind that approach whatsoever.
Looking at the back
Execute it like we
five,
did against PSG, it could work.
if anybody's watching the game ahead of time, they're definitely training on clearances at the moment. The back five, they're shifting and rotating
Mhm.
together, kicking the ball away. You might see a lot of big hoops
Kudus
off the
looks
pitch
focused.
away from the box, and Muhammad Kudus is getting
He looks
ready
super
as
focused. I'm excited for him today, Jack. He's the X factor.
It looks like you got a nice trim as well, as you would imagine. I
Yeah.
think that's what your outlet says for these games. Lots of haircuts usually before the game
Yeah. Oh
for
yeah.
these ones. Let's get to the
Who's
house.
gone crazy? Who's dyed their hair?
Yeah, who's got a little overboard? Let's find out. Really appreciate everybody that's joined us. Thank you for picking us as your watch along destination. Do smash the like button for us, please, if you can. And also as well, feel free at any point to stop us. If you have your own thoughts, put it in as a question in the chat. We'll bring it up. And if you want to support the channel, feel free to become a member or send in a super chat. Patrick Thomas saying, "Holy smokes, I've been arguing for a back three since we beat City, and now he has picked a Danzo alongside Cootie and Mickey get in." Some people are relieved and really happy to see the back five.
Yeah.
Cypress Spurs saying, "I hope we see some fight in those Spurs bellies today. Come on, you Spurs, love that. Hopefully our bellies are full after a nice good result, but then also maybe a celebration type of meal if we are to pick up a result today." Cypress Spurs, Derek Hutchinson, big up Dave and Jack. Let's hope we've got what it takes to turn this lot over. Come on, you Spurs. We can only hope. Let's see if we'll find out, Derek. And then we are Spurs TV saying, if the players play with some fight, I think we will win. If they are just to go through the motions and pick up a check, we are in deep, deep trouble, 100%. I
Mm,
think that's the right way to look at it. Limpy Down Under saying Richie offers a lot, just lacks goals, which is bad for a striker. I'm still
yeah.
mad at him for stealing the penalty off of Scarlett. Yeah,
Yeah.
I don't think he's kind of been a bit of a villain, I think, in the last few weeks. Even like there's even debate about whether the Odebear, shot would have already gone in. The way he celebrated, sort of claiming it as his own, even though it did sort of take the nick off of him. He's been a funny nutcase in recent games. But I think with Richie, we know that he can be a handful where he's going to throw himself about. He's going to be physical. He's going to be a bit of a shit house. It can distract defenders, sort of get in their head. Really, we just need him to channel whatever he had in him, against the likes of a PSG, where he actually was making really good runs off of the ball. He was holding up the ball for the most part, and then he did get into some dangerous areas to cause problems. I think what we're hoping for is a similar performance to what we saw against PSG from the Big
With
Rich.
with Richie today, with Gabriel being out injured, Piero Hincapié is coming in for Arsenal today. If I'm Richarlison, that's the player I'm playing off today.
Yeah,
Don't bother wrestling around in the mud with Saliba. Don't bother. He's in form. Get straight onto Hincapié, especially earlier on in the game. I think you'll get a chance or two off the back of this guy today, coming in cold into such a big environment, big atmosphere, stuff like that. He's going to come in nervous, especially if we can force him to do his job today. That's where Richarlison's going to get joy. He has to play on him today. That's an area we can target.
100%. Sushant Busal, big up, saying, big up, boys from Manhattan. My G brother, David, and my best buddy, Jack. Long
Let's
time
go,
no see, boys.
Sushan.
Big up to you, Sushant. And hopefully you're watching it from a nice pub in New York. There's so many good ones in
Yeah.
Manhattan, whether it's, I know the Flannery's pub is, of course, the destination for all Spurs fans, but just in general, there are a lot of English style pubs, in New York, Manhattan area to watch a good football match from. So hopefully you're comfortable, or if it's a nice early Sunday for you, maybe you're just tucked up at home and having a good one. Big up to you, sir. Ed Sweeting's in the house as well. Big up Dave and Jack. North London Derby. Let's shock the league. Hoping for a Frank masterclass, like him mixing things up. That's the thing, right? Is we know he's a guy that can switch things up, and when it works, you have to give credit to the manager. Hopefully we end up having those conversations at the end of today. Big up to you, Ed Sweeting. Steve D has become a Flat Cat member as well. Big up, Steve. And I think he put in a comment saying, just when I thought I was out, they pulled me back in. Is that Spurs? Is that us? Is that both, Steve G? Is it us, pulling you back in? Skunkworks saying, going all out healthy today, boys. Onion rings from Tesco's and some wine as well. It's a funny combination, I would say, the fried food with a bit of wine. Usually I'm more of a beer with a fried food type of guy. I don't mind a glass of wine if I'm trying to be a bit classier, but a funny combination there, Skunkworks. That definitely for sure. DJ Samuel is in the house. Big up to you, DJ. Really appreciate the support from earlier. It's very, very generous from you. And then we also have Dark Sun G, who's come in here as well. Big up to Dark Sun G. Hopefully you're pumped up for this game, sir. Saying, come on, you Spurs. Let's keep our away form going and live our pool as well. Laugh my ass off, Dave. I mean, yeah, probably Dark Sun G's dad at the minute is probably just ripping his hair out, whereas Spurs have been almost kind of quietly boring maybe this season in comparison. It hasn't been as much melodrama as there maybe is with with the likes of Liverpool at the minute. I wonder if he's slot out, Dark Sun G. I wonder if he's slot out. That's a big conversation around them. But let's hope that we can steal the show and steal the headlines with a nice result today, Dark Sun G.
Well, Darkson G, 13 out of 15 points available so far away from home in the Premier League is not a bad record
Yeah.
at all. I'll take that. And that gives me optimism and hope heading into this game, because it means we've shown resilience on the road, which we haven't done in years gone by. And look, when it comes to Liverpool, I think they're in crisis mode, and I think it's just careering towards Slot being sacked, to be honest with you.
Yeah, crazy. And it's a real test to our waveform this year, Dark Sun G, with Arsenal here and then PSG afterwards. It's going to be a real test
Yeah.
towards it. If we pick up some type of result today, I think that would give us a lot of confidence going into the PSG game. And of course, it works the other way around as well. Big up, Dark Sun G. Appreciate your support. Good to see Artist T as well. Dropkick your teacher. Really appreciate you. DB saying Frank just said it all about the set piece. I think set pieces are going to be absolutely crucial for this game, DB, both defending
Yeah.
them and going forward. I mean, we can also hurt them with a set piece. I know they are the best in the league, but we're probably second best, third best, you would say, maybe as well. Like, we have been very dangerous as well. So we could easily punch them in the mouth with one. And be nice to see a Muhammad Kudus, whipped in corner. He's kind of been inconsistent. I feel like there've been times when his delivery has been incredible. There've been times when, like the Chelsea game with Sanchez, just collecting every single one. Let's hope that's the case for Arsenal, where they just keep pumping it into Vicario's arms, and then we're the ones who actually find the good delivery. Stevie Frazier, big ups. Richie needs to show me something today, or I'm going to lose my shit. I think Stevie Frazier is one of those that finds Richarlison to be a very frustrating character. I think there are a lot of people out there that feel the same way. Stevie, let's just hope that we get the best version of Richarlison today. Like I said, the PSG version, if we can. Jerome with a super chat. Really appreciate you, Jerome. Hopefully everything's all right with you this day. And he's saying, today, I don't care if we are pragmatic, but rob them of 3 points or 2 points. Just be focused and not make any silly mistakes. That is probably something that we probably brought up in the pre-match buildup, but does need to be emphasized, is there have been games where maybe we haven't been that great, Dave. Maybe we haven't been that scintillating to watch or going forward, but we've actually sometimes just been our own worst enemy, where we concede a goal that we just didn't really need to. That wasn't even off the back of great work from the opposition team. So that's definitely something to consider too, is just don't give Arsenal really any freebies, might be the way to put it.
100%. Just don't give them anything easy. At least if they're gonna, like, if we get beaten today, make them earn their win. Make them make sure they come off that pitch knowing that, Jesus, they gave us a good game today. Look, it's gonna be a tough game. We're not the most exciting team in possession or breaking teams down from open play. It is going to be a game where we're going to have to defend solid and, go and hopefully nick the game from a set piece. I do think it's one of them games today. And look, at the end of the day, this is where Thomas Frank built his reputation at Brentford, showing the ability to be able to punch above his weight, and take points off the big boys, make it a difficult game for them. And, at the end of the day, though, you need 11 committed players on the pitch fighting the same battles and the same causes, in order for that to happen today. And also, you need a little bit of luck to go your way in these games. And look, one win in our last 32 in the league shows the magnitude of what we're up against today. But there's been bigger mountains that have been climbed, Jack. It's not insurmountable. It's not impossible. And at the end of the day, if we go out there, and I think the first two training minutes will show me, whether we're up for this game, whether we're flying into challengers or pulling out and being scared and jockeying and stuff like that. That'll show me the intent of this Tottenham team. Look, if I'm Thomas Frank, you've got absolutely nothing to lose today. It's a free hit. Well, not a free hit, but, you've nothing to lose today. Go at them, send the players after them, look to make it aggressive, try and put them on the back foot and silence down that home crowd, because once we do that, they're there for the taking.
Yeah. No, I think like the Man United game is a good example of that. Like, it's not like Man United were doing anything special, and then we just gave them an absolute freebie of a goal. Jerome, we just try to avoid that to the best of our ability. Even like, remember the Brighton game, right? Like, I felt like the Brighton game sort of, we were just kind of giving them goals that just didn't necessarily need to. It's not like they were doing anything that special. So definitely need to avoid mistakes. And I think Dave or other people have brought up that stat before. We have had some of the most mistakes that have led to goals, this season. I thought that was also the case under Ange Postecoglou as well. It sort of felt for the guy, where it did feel like, as much as we were defensively open, we also were our own worst enemy. And I think that's carried over to the Thomas Frank era as well. But we have just been a tiny bit more, or at least a bit more defensively solid. And just hope that no mistakes, stay solid, and hopefully try to grind this game out really at the same time. Players are shaking hands. Saw a hug between Vicario and Calafiori there. I'm not sure if I enjoy that. You kind of wish he took the Roy Keane approach, where he just doesn't even look at the opposition team there. But maybe that's just a sign of the game being gone. And also another sign of the game being gone is I think there was rumors. I'm curious if it actually is going to happen, but there was rumors that they would have cameras set on both of the set piece coaches ahead of this game, which is just absolutely absurd where things have gone. Even Limpy Down Under saying now in today's game, young people are going to watch, football and want to become a set piece coach instead of a player. It is almost reached that stage where the set piece coaches are just as important. I mean, Thomas Frank, he loves a set piece, and he brings up that quote a lot, that a third of the goals for most teams are scored from them. So it's just something that you just have to become, in tune with, and you have to be aware of. Limpy Down Under, member for 3 months, saying Spurs hate medical injuries and being clinical. All three of those are definitely true. Limpy Down Under. Really appreciate the support. We're getting close. Calamari, says Tyler. Love that. Well, we're getting very close. We're getting close to the intensity where every kick, every pass, every touch, we're just going to be so nervous about. But hopefully we can be celebrating after 90 minutes today. Come on, everybody. Get ready. Strap in. Hit the like button for us, please, if you can. But yeah, just a minute away from kickoff here. The game's gone, says Jack. Yeah, 100%.
I'm absolutely pumped. I cannot wait. It's a big, big game. We just got to turn up with the right mentality, Jack, the right intensity. Do you know what? I get we're well aware of the threat that they carry and that they possess and stuff, and that they are top of the league. But most importantly, you can't go into this game with fear today, Jack. You go in there with fear, you're already beaten before you head in there.
Yeah.
We have to head in there with hope and belief that we can turn them over. And if we can do that and we can survive the first 20, 30 minutes, we have a real chance of taking something from this game, because I truly believe, with them going for the league title, I know that, Man City winning yesterday probably puts more pep in their step in terms of being braver and trying to separate themselves from Man City and really pushing on and asserting their dominance on the Premier League. But likewise, if the longer this game goes on and it's still 0-0, or we've sneaked the goal and we're winning, the more nervous their crowd is going to become, the more nervous the players going to become, the more erratic Arteta is going to become. And the players in Arteta will start making mistakes. They are choke artists. That's one thing they used to label at us, that we're choke artists. No, we're now champions of Europe. Hold that. Well, actually, they dream of holding that. I wouldn't even give them the opportunity. That's what they fantasize about. That's partly why they hate us so much, because of our European history. So let's assert that dominance over them today. Let's go after with no fear, and let's see what we can take out of it. Because if we go in there fearful, we're already beat.
Yeah, and they are cringe FC for a reason, right? The fact that they have the North
Like
London
old
Forever
FC.
song, so cringe. The Tifo, right? They've gotten that wrong a few times as well. It's absolute cringe FC from them. But we have gone kicked off. Everybody, feel free to sync up with us if you'd like to.
Arsenal already offside. Lovely. Absolutely perfect. Back to Vicario. Vicario goes long again. We're going to see a lot of this today. Udebur tries to hold it up, falls to Adogi. Adogi, good ball into Kudus. Kudus, ball down the line for Udebur. Ken Udebur got on the end of it.
Good pressure.
Arsenal go back to Raya, forcing him long. Already a nervous mistake there. Can Kudus take it down? Adogi takes it down. Looks to go on the outside, gives away a throw in. That's good though, keeping Penn back early on.
Pumped away by Rice. Bentancur.
Saka just helps it on, forcing Danzo to defend. Romero just hooks it clear.
Good clearance.
Good anticipation as well.
Udogie a little slow there.
It's clear that we're just going to go a long ball and bypass that midfield for the first while anyway. Maybe
I wouldn't
not
mind. Wouldn't mind just a few no-nonsense clearances.
Yeah. Look, the longer the ball's up there and they're in and around the middle of the park, right, the more chance we have. Saliba. Cape.
Big switch of play towards Saka.
Bukayo Saka. The doggy needs to watch
all over him. He's already picked his pocket early.
Any break here? He's looking for Richarlison. Richarlison, give him an option. You have to run the flanks there, man.
Yeah, he tried to go in behind through the middle.
He's running in behind the defender. He's not giving him an option. Come on, Richie. You need to get in front of your man and make that run so that if Dougie does underhit, you can still get there. Bentancur into the middle of the park. They're so quickly on him in there. He loses it, gets dispossessed. Arsenal looking to break. Mickey van de Ven gets spun. Sorry, Romero gets spun. Sacco gets run at a doggy here.
Into the midfield.
Arsenal looking to break. It's over the top.
Oh,
Got a save from
jeez.
Vicario off
Oh,
Danzo.
jeez.
Nearly goes in as an own goal. Just wide of the post.
Weesh.
That's why you can't put the ball into that midfield. That all started
No.
by throwing in there aimlessly. Bentancur getting swarmed and then them breaking. Can't be getting caught with that. Good
Really
save
good.
from Vicario. That
Very good save from Vicario and a really good ball
it's easy
from
to go
Eze.
through his legs, that one there. It's a great ball by Eze. So easy go through the legs there. Well done, Vicario. Well, 3 minutes in, first test of a defensive
Jeez.
set piece.
Need that bit of luck though, right there.
Yeah. It's a good save from
First
Vicario.
set piece. Fuck, it's gonna be a slog of set pieces today.
Here comes the bomb squad. It's delivered in. I think
Timber
there cleared that one.
Yeah, Timber clears it for us.
Thank you, Timber. Oh, first one is survived, guys. Hopefully we don't have to survive.
First one survived. Let's hope we don't give them too many. That's my hope as well. Yeah, Vic did save us there. They're going to need a big performance from Vic. But hopefully he's not too busy.
Romero just not even chatting.
Yeah, Romero's not going for the back passes in these opening minutes. He's just going for clearance after clearance.
Yeah. See if we can try and get some pressure on the ball here.
Sort of a narrow defensive shape from the front three. They play through us here.
Space here. It's too easy, that. Doubling up on a doggy here. Udebur needs to try and get across and help him. Bentancur has to get out here on Eze. Well done. To Bukayo Saka.
What's the other nickname for him? Limpayo?
Yeah, Limpayo Saka. Limpy down under.
Limpy down under.
Arsenal throw in.
Limpy Gooner.
Tottenham sitting very deep here. That's more like it. There we go. Can we get pressure on that ball?
Yeah.
Now Kuda's trying to get pressure on it. Now Richie. Udebur block off that pass.
Almost looks to be a version of a man-to-man in the beginning.
Try to go in behind a doggy.
Because Jed Spence, right? Jed Spence came all the way out to pressure there. And then it seems like Bentancur and Paulinho are just sort of chasing people in the midfield.
Yeah.
See how that works for us. But that was, I think PSG and Man City, we sort of went for a man-to-man sort of approach with the press. Van de Ven goes long. Cleared away by Arsenal once again. And recovered. Big switch of play over to Jet Spence's side. Deals with it well.
Tottenham throwing. We'll have that all day.
I think that's what we want, actually. We want them to go for those long balls. I think that suits us.
Just keep it boring for the first while. Quiet down that crowd.
All right, ref. He's got his whole arms over Richarlison.
We've go back to Vicario. Well done, Van de Ven. Moves it quickly out to a doggy. That's more like it.
Good cut back. Going long once again to Richie. Can Bentancur get on this? Good strength from Bentancur.
Bentancur.
Yep, take our time. Now. Give yourself a breather.
Where's Danza? We're not going long? Not in range?
Yeah. Not a bad time.
Does want to risk the defensive structure.
Richie, just bring it down, man. Why are you rolling him?
What's he even trying to roll him for? There's no space for him.
Nothing there, ref. Nothing there. Oh. Van de Ven came through the back of Marino. All right, what's up with all these replays? Ball's already in play. foul from Richie on Eze. Richie, don't get into anything. I think he's got the freshly dyed hair for this one. Ball's over to Rice. They keep going long. Arsenal. Destiny Udogie. Terrible clearance from Vicario. His left-footed clearances are so dodgy at times. And he probably did have time on the ball. He's nervous, Vicario. He tends to have that. Well done, Van de Ven. Destiny Udogie played Vicario a pass back and didn't deal with it well. Ball's out wide to Saka.
Oh, well
Good
done.
clearance from Palhinha. Back post here. Kudus.
Kudus.
I got to get rid of it, man.
Keep battling.
Good pressure, though, from Kudus. Good pressure from Kudus.
Well done.
Rice.
Hincapié moves it forward to Trossard. Well done. Smothers the passing lanes. Rice. Moves it on to Saliba. Subamendi comes in, picks it up, looks for a ball over the top. Udogie deals with it. Danzo just clear it. Oh, my lord.
Not a good clearance from Danzo
Not a
there.
good clearance whatsoever.
Oh,
the
Romero,
chance
great
falls.
block.
Good block from Romero. He's going mad. Who's he going mad at?
I think he's going mad at Michael Oliver.
Good. Tottenham trying to play here now. Moves it on to Mickey Van de Ven. Van de Ven tries to pass it into Kudus. Can't get a hold of it. Gives it straight back to Arsenal. 9 minutes in, though. Still 0-0.
Counting down the minutes.
Arsenal looking to attack down Tottenham's right-hand side. Oop. Oh, we've lost Jack. Which means I've lost the stream, so bear with us, guys. We'll get Jack back. What do you think of the start so far, though, everybody? Let me know. Let me see if Jack's coming back. Hopefully his internet hasn't crashed. Tyler says we've been awful. Skunkwork says nervous Rex. We have no transition from the midfield. Yeah, no one's... Whatever outball, it's not really working right now anyway, that's for sure. Just bear with us a minute. We'll see if we get Jack back. Tyler says he thinks we'll grow into it. I hope so. Sean Maddox, good to see you. A lot of people were saying we need to start Richie because others weren't up for a big game. I think it's clear that was BS. Just bear with us, guys. I'm going to get another link for the game here. Just bear with us. We'll see if we get Jack back. His internet's gone. Oh, Jesus. Just bear with us, guys. Sorry. All right, Nick. What's the crack? Good old reliable Nick. He's going to send me on a link now, guys. Just bear with me. Big up, Ribsy. How are you keeping, lad? Hopefully you're keeping well. Got a link back. Arsenal cross it. Richarlison clears it. Thank you, Nick. Big up, Nick. Appreciate it, my man. Vicario goes long.
All right, Dave, do you have it back?
Yeah. You back, Jacko?
Sorry about that, everybody.
No, you're all good, lad.
I think I need a new Ethernet cord.
Tottenham with a chance to go along here, sticking in the box. Danzo tries to win it. Ray comes out and claims it. Van de Ven getting a Ray's way there like that shit house.
$15 minutes in. Sorry about that, everybody. Need to do an under the hood check because it has been happening a little bit too often for me. Boys seem to be fired up, says Faz. I think we're just sort of hanging on, clinging on at the minute, but we are definitely putting our foot in.
That was to be expected from the very beginning, you know. Just
Sir!
can't get here. Well done, Mickey Van de Ven. That's a free. You send this the same game you're on, Jack. I think I'm like a few seconds behind you. Right.
Maybe let me just send the link again.
Yeah. Well done, a doggy. Well done. Good strength. Ref, that's, oh my God, he's giving a free to Arsenal. Are you serious? Romero straight in his face. Absolutely love that.
Sorry. Yeah, here's the link again.
Legend. Oh yeah, sorry, I didn't see the first one still there. Kaza says, could everyone stop diving?
All right, another set pieces. Sorted their their tactic as well. We'll see how we
Yeah.
handle it.
Bukayo Saka's going to deliver this.
They're all going to rush towards the middle.
Yeah. He's going to just whip this towards goal with pace and power. And exactly that, and it's gone over. Bukayo diving across.
Take a lot of those today. We'll take a lot of those today. Like I said, it'd be nice if they have sort of a, like what we had against Chelsea, where just all their set pieces just sort of are overhit. Hard to tell if he even went for goal.
Oh, go on, a doggy. Space here. Drive into it, kid. Well done.
Sir!
That's a free ref.
Okay, ref. He's just gone into the
my
back
God,
of him
he's
there.
giving them one for the exact same
Michael
thing.
Oliver, man.
He's a joke, Michael Oliver. Go on, Romero. Well
Good
done.
header.
Well done,
Great header from Romero. So composed from Romero. Vicario into Kudus. Plays it back to Danzo.
Danzo just pumps it down the line.
Yeah, Danzo not as comfortable on the ball.
Oh, well done.
Good touch from Odebear.
Sir! That's got to be a yellow card.
Touch from Odebear there.
See if we can start getting grips with the game now and start moving forward. Vicario's just going to deliver this long. Let's send the bomb squad after it.
Yeah, we did this against PSG.
Mero, Van de Ven, Danzo.
Danzo back post, wins it.
Well done,
Paulinho.
Well done, Paulinho.
Not the right option, though. Odebear there to track with Jet Spence.
Well done,
Spence just play back. Too much dribbling, man. Too much dribbling.
Picks up a throw and we'll take that. Trossard certainly pumped for it anyway.
Long throw from an insider on half. Good idea from Udogi.
Well done.
Kudus. Oh, what an animal.
Oh, well done.
What an animal. How did he come out with that?
Good ball,
Richarlison. Tries first time in behind for Odebear. I don't think that's a bad idea from Richarlison.
No, it's the right idea. Just needs to be a bit more soft. Give him a chance to get to it. Well done. Good pressure. Don't give away a free. Oh,
just keeps going down, ref. Flapayo Saka. Just keeps flopping. I mean, yeah, he's given Bukayo Saka the call every time, but then when we get bulldozed to the floor, he's not giving us anything. Come on, 70 minutes to go, says Niraviv. Odebear, nice switch over to Danzo. He's got to take a touch, Danzo.
Vicario.
Much better clearance this time from
Oh, that
Richie.
Richie. Well
Well
done.
done. Kudus. Can he find Odebear? Yes, he
Good
does.
ball.
Good composure from Kudus. Odebear driving with it. Oda
Ah,
Sauce.
he's got to
Maybe
feed
held on
Kudus
to it
back
too
down the
long
line.
there. Udogi. Don't you dare, ref.
Well done, ref.
If that was Bukayo Saka, you would have gave it. Romero clears. Jet Spence doesn't win it. Should have been able to. Paulinho, good pressure. $20 gone. Only one shot on goal from Arsenal, which was that really good chance that Eze created.
Udebar.
You take it so far, you do.
Yeah, we'll take it. Like, it was always going to be a difficult task come here today.
Just have to limit those sort of opportunities. Get there, Bents.
Outball is
Love
just
it,
not.
Bents.
The outball combination is just not quite working for us.
No, not at all. Good pressure
Arsenal
from
just not coming
Danzo.
around.
Yeah, they're going for more sideways sort of passing now. Bentancur gets
Well
in.
done.
Love it.
Go
Jet.
on, Spence.
There! That's a great free kick to earn. Give yourself a breather.
Yeah. Just relieve pressure. That's all we're asking them to do. Oliver giving Romero talking too. I think Romero's just protesting every decision at this point.
I think he's talking about the set pieces. Maybe taking a long
Yeah.
time.
Ah, can't be doing that to Vicario. Can't be just booting it straight out for a goal kick.
I think Thomas Frank wanted everyone to be further forward there
Yeah.
to press. You wonder how many pieces of gum he's going to be going through. How many magnets?
Yeah. I've got my gun with me today, Jack. Come on, try and get more pressure on the ball here. It's been a boring game, which is sort of what we want to force Arsenal
Yeah,
into.
sadly, that is kind of probably what we want.
Arsenal look to play between the lines.
Udogi,
Well done,
good
Udogi.
interception.
Udebar, get on there. Didn't really give
We
any
can control
Udebar
it
any
here,
other
though.
choices there.
You can control it here. Time.
Yeah.
You got time, Vic. Get it back to Van de Ven. I think we should try to avoid
2
giving it
seconds,
to
lads.
Danzo. I think we should try to avoid getting it to Danzo. I think he looks the least comfortable on the ball, whereas Romero and Van de Ven have a bit more composure. Van de Ven tried to find Kudus, but just too far in front of him. Good tackle from Udogi. Need to be on that second ball there. Bentancur, good pressure. Great pressure. Saliba. Bukayo Saka has dropped deep here. He's cutting more inside. Getting frustrated out on the wing. They haven't gone down Jet Spence's side nearly as much. He tries to get in the way for an interception. Good job by Paulinho. Good challenge. Richie. Kudus. And event out wide to Udogi. Oh, what a touch from Kudus. Oh! Multiple Megs. They're just swarming us anytime we go forward, but it's also just because we do have one less attacker, one less player in the midfield, so it is difficult at times. Getting in each other's way, says we are Spurs TV. Yeah, a bit at times. But we're trying to support each other where we're trying to sort of offer a passing option, but maybe sometimes we're just getting too close to each other. Into Calafiori in the box. Rice. He's got space, cleared away by Van de Ven. Timber. Miscued there. Well done by Richie. Good battling. Into Timber. Good job by Van de Ven. Great defending from Van de Ven. Udogi. Sir!
Sorry about that. Neighbours having a full-blown party out there.
No.
Just had to get into fucking closed windows, keep the noise down. Can't concentrate. Now, Vicario.
Really good defending from Van de Ven earlier.
Go on, Richie.
There you go.
Well done.
There you go. Stay on your feet.
Ref,
Sir,
ref. Oliver. Oh, he's standing there looking at it.
He's literally 5 feet away, and he's watching him grab
He's
two
standing there
handfuls of
looking at it.
Richarlison. He's got all of his limbs tied up.
I mean, when's he going to blow us a whistle? When's he going to start giving us some rub of the green? It's absolutely ridiculous. Here we go, though. Long throw, half an hour in.
Especially dried off by Bergvall.
This is it, Jacko.
Bergvall gave him a fresh ball to work with.
Freshly dried off by him. He'll get the assist, Jack.
Come on.
The pre-assist.
Come on. Big throw in. Come on, dance.
Come on. This is our chance. Long throw. Win it.
Romero.
Yeah. Ooh. Oh,
doing everything. So oh my God, Michael Oliver, please, man. That was a great throw. I don't even know what Romero did, though. He's just giving everything so far. Eric Ball designated ball dryer. He's just going to permanently stay out there. He's never going to come back to the bench. He's just going to be running around the pitch, drawing off the ball.
That's what he's on the sideline for.
Yeah, Dave, like I'm saying, I'll never go back to the bench. He'll just constantly stay in his bib on this touchline.
Wouldn't surprise me if that's a tactic. Have one of the players up and down that line, just drying the ball off.
Oh, Saka.
Van de Bentecourt had to take him out there. Had to take that yellow. Nick from Ven says, this match is a crime against football. Look, it is, but to a degree, the first half was always going to be like this. It was always going to be having to stifle them for the first half an hour or whatever and sort of try and kill their momentum a little bit. And what I would say is in the second half, it gives us the opportunity to get legs on the pitch. And Mawani, Sarr, players like that. Good yellow card for Bentecourt to take as long as they don't score off the back of this.
Sean Maddox saying that I want a review of Oliver's performance.
I mean, he's just standing there watching Richie be manhandled,
Yeah.
get back up, manhandled again, and he just doesn't even have the whistle near his mouth. You know
You
what I
feel like
mean?
he would have.
It's scandalous.
You feel like he would have told Richie to get up, in the same situation Saka was there. Like if Saka gets past, he just seems so eager to blow the whistle.
Yeah.
Set piece here.
Left foot delivery. It's off.
Good
Vicario
save from Vicario.
Stayed alert to it. Spence, good control. Now, can we get Kudus down the line for an out ball here? He hits him. Can Kudus cause some trouble?
Out of play.
That's picked up.
Stayed in play.
Nearly won us a throw in. Arsenal knocking it around, trying to use that momentum here now.
They don't have many numbers forward here, though.
I think the
Well
crowd
done
are
by
willing them
Paulinho.
forward. Well done, Paulinho. He's been good in the midfield, disrupting.
I think Saka both times has gone for sort of a cross shot sort of combination, and Vicario, it's not ideal.
No, it's not. But it's good that Vicario tracks that ball the whole way and keeps his eye on it, because it's very easy to just get lost in that situation.
Yeah. That was a really good delivery. All right, they're going for their own long throw.
Oh, Lord, they're going to try and play us our game here now.
Not a good one.
It's nowhere near as effective.
By Richie.
Clears it. Eze picks it up. Get out. Close him off. Well done. Bentancur forcing the early cross.
Come out, Vic. Come out, Vic.
And then Vicario. Well done. Good call, Jacko. Time. Go down on it, Vicario. Wait for players to get forward. Give them a breather, man. Rolls it out to Mickey van de Ven. Onto Destiny Udogie. Udogie into Udebur.
Not a good touch from Udebur. Needs
He's
to be
going to
stronger
have to make
there.
changes if he wants us to get further up the pitch in the second half, especially as an outball. Whatever it's working defensively, but it's not working going forward.
Yeah. I think we're struggling to get it in at Kudus too.
Van de Ven screaming at some players there to push up. Eze.
Bentancur's done a good job pushing out each time.
Just need Richarlison and Kudus to get a bit higher if we can. Don't mind that, though. Pass it around the back line. I'd rather them have possession there. It's just this we need to cut off. Bentancur trying to get out again. Forcing them backwards. Brilliant. Now can Richarlison. Richarlison looks a bit leggy. Bentancur having to do his shuttle runs again. Forcing it backwards. Well done, Bentancur. You're right. He's doing a good job doing that.
He's not dawdling. He's just sort of every time he's just putting a bit of pressure on, which forces them to go backwards.
Yeah.
Into midfield.
Arsenal. Oh, it's a ball over the top for Trossard. Oh, it's in the back of the net. I think. Oh, it's a good ball over the top. Hopefully, there's an offside here.
It's a good run from Trossard. It's a good ball. They clipped it over the defense.
They tried that earlier on in the game, and Vicario saved it. Come on, please, VAR, find something. I can't sit there and watch them do this celebration for the rest of the game.
This pass, too, opened it up. Marino dropped deep here. Yeah, Udogie's keeping him on.
Nah, Dogie's not even reading the line. He's kept him on there. Destiny. Everyone else kept the line. He's just caught ball watching.
Oh.
He's looking for the offside flag to bail him out as well. I think he knows. It's just a good ball over the top. Good control by Trossard. Van de Ven tries to get back. Danzo tries to get back.
Oh, and it goes off Van de Ven as well.
It goes right in the corner. Their fucking luck.
Deflected off Van de Ven as well. Well, the sort of adversity that we're going to have to try to handle, going down.
Just when you think we've staved the open in half an hour and that, and then just a doggy just switches off.
And like you said, it's just sort of our luck with that type of deflection.
Arsenal coming again, though. It's a long over here, Cross. Frank's going to have to make changes now at half time. It's a
Yeah.
different game in the second half now.
If
Gonna
we
have to
got
make
into
some
halftime
corrective
0-0, I
changes.
think you achieved your goal of just sort of nullifying them, but then you just sort of need to make some changes because it has been dreadful going forward.
So we're going to have to go and chase the game now. So he's going to have to come up with. He's going to have to
Yeah.
switch formation or do something because whatever the out ball is, it's just not working. Or
Skunkworth
whatever
saying
the
we need to
idea
bring
behind
on
it
own goals.
is. Richarlison just getting pushed all over the place again. Need to get Moani on at half time. Tottenham just sitting in the shape here. Suppose they don't want to go too down before half time. Hincapié. On to Saliba. Saliba finds Timber. Timber moves it inside. Arsenal starting to find a little bit of rhythm here. Tottenham not really laying a glove off with any pressure on with any pressure whatsoever here.
Yeah. Feels like the forward line is just not pressing at all, or they're just being asked not to press.
Yeah.
The midfield have. Palhinha and Bentancur have stepped out plenty of times to sort of cover, but Kudus and Richarlison just don't seem to be.
Well done, Kudus. That's a free ref. Oliver. Thank you.
I just thought of Oliver Twat.
Oliver Twat and Stuart Pratwell. He's taking down notes, so he better fucking change something at halftime.
He's writing a Dermatron slam poetry.
Yeah, it seems like it. Oh my God, Oliver, please. You're giving them.
How many times has
everything.
Saka been on the floor, though, man? It's just so fucking annoying,
He does
man.
this
He's
every
always
game.
on the fucking ground.
Does this every single game.
He gets so many calls, man.
Brett Lockhead, we're on the tablet. God help us. Tyler says we are so shit. Anti-football from Spurs. Refocusing his magnets.
Refocusing.
It's just Destiny Udogie, man. If Destiny Udogie just reads the offside trap and stays concentrated, the game plan has worked.
He would have been well off.
Come on, Richie. Show a bit of intent. Come on, Richie. Sprint, man. It's not London fucking derby. Romero reads it. Gets a boot in. Whatever's never winning that. Or Arsenal playing through Tottenham here now. It's a ball in. Danzo
Good
just
clearance
gets a
from
clearance.
Danzo. As a time and space.
It's 2-0. It's game. Way too much time and space. Everyone just got dragged over there.
Gonna be a long night.
That's game over now. That's curtains on the North London derby. Within 5 minutes, 2 goals. Yeah.
They all got sucked over to the left. They all got sucked over to that left-hand side. Every single player. And they played through us. They played through us. They just carved through us there on the left side. Just a few combinations, and then it was Danzo pretty much all on his own in the box, and the clearance that he made wasn't great. Kind of sort of fell right to Arsenal.
They just ripped us open from there. Danzo does well with the clearance.
Yeah, it's not actually that bad of a clearance, really. That's just we're already wide open.
Palhinha and Bentancur. Is that Palhinha and Bentancur?
Yeah, Palhinha and Bentancur missed the
Two of them
challenge.
need to do a lot better there. Need to do a hell of a lot better. Eze does unbelievably well there, but the two of them have got to do better. And the two centre.
And it goes through Danzo and Van de Ven.
Oh, it's going to be a long, long evening.
Just hits it with a lot of power.
Oh, look at that goon. Look at that muppet. Oh, my God. They even have their own Thomas Frank wannabe. Same haircut and everything. Ay. Vicario pumps it long. We cannot get the grip of that ball whatsoever.
Yeah.
A lot of head tennis going on here. Paulinia. Ref, how many more bites at him, ref? Ref, can you blow your fucking whistle, you twat? Eight shots to none. We haven't even laid a glove.
Oh, we haven't even we gotten into maybe the opposition box once?
Yeah. Ref. Trossard running down the wing here. Bentancur. Can he stick with him? Well done, Bentancur sticks to task. That's ours, ref. Get Tarzan off that fucking ball.
Jerome with a super chat saying, "Oh well, what can we do? Eze is just too good." I think the second goal both goals. There was definitely a lot of quality from the players in both goals.
You could make the argument actually on that second goal. There's two Arsenal players offside in the sight of Vicario there, similar to the one that was disallowed for Liverpool against Man City there last week.
Huh?
I think there's a fair argument around that if you look at that again.
He sees it very late.
There's two Arsenal players in the line of sight there.
I mean, you would kill to have someone like Eze. I mean, even that chance he played earlier in the game, Jerome, was a hell of a pass.
Oh, come on, Hotspur. You've got to try and challenge. You've got to jump, kid. You've got to get off your feet, man.
We are missing definitely the quality, even the combination play that they made, Jerome, just to open up for that second goal. And even the pass, for Trossard for the first goal was delightful. Good ball from Kudus. Hotspur, man, you got to get turned. It's a terrible ball as well. He's done nothing this game, Hotspur. Udogie and Timber getting into a scrap. I think Udogie is being held back.
Oh, come on, Spurs. Let's try and show something before halftime, please.
Why is he only talking to Udogie?
I don't think he knows.
I mean, surely that's even a yellow card. Like, it's just completely off of the ball, and he's just trying to take him out.
See if we can get something off the back of this shit house to go back into it. Vicario pumps it long.
Not a good ball at all from Vicario.
Oh,
not a good ball at all.
Cheeky fucker went for goal there. Clearing that. It's a fucking shocking ball.
Dropkicker teacher, artist T saying, what people expecting with this lineup anyways? It's not Haram ball, it's pussy ball 2 in a row where Frank plays to not lose. Richarlison starting was already a red flag. I mean, if Kolomoani is available, it probably might have been a mistake. It's just hard to know, man. Like, they were saying he was trying his best to sort of be fit for this game, but sometimes we don't know the whole story. And as well, the manager isn't going to tell the whole truth about it. He's not going to try to make it that easy on Mikel Arteta to be able to predict the lineup. But listen, man, like it's really very few positives. Like we've been awful going forward. We seem to have no plan or really any idea. It seemed like the the whole strategy really was just to probably go into halftime 0-0.
Yeah, well, whatever the out plan as
It
it
has been
worked.
terrorist football.
He's just gone ping it long to Richie, and hopefully Kudus and
Yeah,
Udeberg can pick up stuff off him, and that
yeah,
just hasn't worked whatsoever. And like look, that's the thing with when you come in with the 3 and the 5 at the back, you know, you have to make sure you have that out ball.
yeah.
And it seems like he sacrificed the guy in midfield, you know, put an extra body up forward. And it just, look, it's backfired, right? You know, it's completely backfired. It's been a crap half from Tottenham. Haven't really laid a glove on them out of possession. Haven't really ventured into their half with any purpose whatsoever. A lack of fight from the forward players for large parts of that game as well. Lack of intensity, lack of hunger. And look, I'd love to sit here and say this performance is in isolation, Jack, but it's not. You know, we've
No.
seen this far too many times in first half of games this season, and Thomas Frank has a big half ahead of him right now. Look, this game isn't done and dusted. Anything can happen in North London Derby. But he's got to go for it now at halftime. He's got to make changes. He's got to get one of them defenders off the pitch, put on Mawani, you know, and look to go for this game. Look to go at them now in the second half. Because Arsenal, if we come out with the same game plan, they're just going to keep that ball across the back line like they've done to see it out till halftime. And they're just going to do that to just see minutes tick away in this game. Frank has to come out with a much more relentless game plan, send the team after him. Yes, it's going to leave gaps at the back, but that's the risk you take.
Yep.
When you start off with a formation like that and it doesn't go to plan, that's the risk you take. He now has to take the handbrake off the team and just send us at it. We've got nothing to lose at this point.
I think when you try to go with sort of the terrorist football approach, the pragmatic approach, you're banking on basically going to halftime 0-0, or maybe if you're really lucky, maybe you nick a goal and then sort of put the pressure and the onus on the opposition team. But if you find yourself 2-0 down like we have, it's a huge, huge hole to climb out of. And I think it's the risk of sometimes not, being a bit more adventurous. I'm not going to be hindsight or anything about it. I didn't mind it if it works. Sometimes you can't see it work with plenty of managers, but it's not worked at all. And if there's been nothing to really be encouraged by or really get behind, when it comes to us going forward, like we're struggling to be able to even complete 2 passes, let alone 3 passes in a row, or be able to make any sort of first time combinations with each other. It really is just hoof it long to Richie and just pray that someone gets on the knockdown. But he's had 3-4 players around him pretty much the whole time. It's not been easy for him at all, really. So
Like, the thing is,
it's the risk that you take, and it's not paid off. Or I guess it's been the opposite. We've taken no risks, and we've gotten punished for it, really.
but this is where Frank needs to learn. He needs to learn quickly. If you are going to set up this way, you have to have a way of being able to, get out, start pushing them back at some
Yeah,
point. And to your point, it just seems like the whole plan was keep this until half time and just use Richie to try and get an out ball, and hopefully he wins you something. And at the end of the day, we can sit here and say, oh, well, it's not his fault. At the end of the day, he picked Richarlison over Mawani. Mawani was back on the grass, back training. If he's on the bench and he comes off the bench, then he should have been okay to start the game, in my opinion. So that was a call that Thomas Frank lives and dies upon. And I'm not being funny, but if you are playing that long ball game, we know Richarlison can't hold up that ball. So it was always doomed to fail from the off, in that regard. And look, he took a risk by approaching the North London Derby this way. And it's completely backfired. He set up not to lose, with that setup, without having any real outball or any real way to sort of relieve pressure. And eventually that pressure kept coming one way, and it told. Players are going to make mistakes if they keep having to defend and sit in and stuff like that. It's going to happen. You have to be able to relieve the pressure. So he has to do something at half time. If he comes out with the exact same formation and the exact same sort of tactic, Spurs fans are he's going to lose a lot of Spurs fans
yeah,
in this second half if he doesn't do something at half time. Because like I said, I'd love to sit here and say this is an isolation. It's the exact same shit we've seen against Chelsea, the exact same shit we've seen against Manchester United. And at the end of the day, it may be an approach that worked with his Brentford team because they were used to playing like that nearly every single week. This Tottenham team is used to playing in possession. They're going to
yeah.
fall off it very, very quickly as well. They're going to want to see more braveness from Thomas Frank, being more reactive rather than proactive, if he wants to keep some of these players on side, especially these forward players. So this is a big, big halftime team talk for Thomas Frank, and a big, big decision for him to make, because I'm not being funny. If this ends up 3-4 or 5, I think there's a big chance he loses a lot of goodwill from fans, and a lot more pressure and scrutiny will be on him. His tactics will be pulled to pieces after this game with the amount of pundits analysing this game and everything else. Don't get me wrong, I knew it was always going to be a difficult task, but this is a massive halftime for him. He now has to loosen his belt, put on some real jeans instead of fucking skinny jeans, find his bollocks, and make some big calls this half.
Yeah, 100%. Chase Mullen saying not taking a risk is a risk, right? Been partial to Frank, but his setup was stupid from the start. Why sit back for 90 minutes against them at home? And I think as well, someone was saying 100% agree with Chase. He's been playing preseason tactics this whole time, super naive. That is one of his quotes, right? That he says, if you're not taking a risk, that's a risk in itself. And sometimes Thomas Frank has these quotes like that, then you don't really see it put into practice. Even Dave the other day sort of pointed out, like he says, "Oh, I love pressing. I love pressing." It's like, yeah, but how many games have we actually really seen us press? It seems
Yeah.
to pick and choose sort of for him when it comes to the pressing department. And it's not something that you see on a regular basis. We've done it every now and again, but there have been plenty more games, you would say, where we tend to set up a bit more like this, where we're just looking to sort of sit in a shape, sit in a block, absorb pressure, and then just hope that we can turn the ball over and maybe create a decent counterattack. And then also as well, just rely on set pieces and the
But the thing is, Jack,
positions. But yeah,
like, even with the setup, he can still instruct Richarlison and Kudus to go and relentlessly press that back line. Take them two off after 55, 60 minutes, bring another two on to go and do
yeah,
the same job. But he hasn't done that. He's just told them basically, sit back, make sure there's only this much space between yourself and the midfield. And all you're doing is allowing Arsenal to pass it left to right and wait for their moments. You know, it was exact same what we seen against Monaco, and Monaco didn't punish us that night. He's not learning, Thomas Frank. It's okay to come into the game with a back five, but then instruct Kudus and Richarlison to go and press the living shit out of that ball. Try and force it back to the goalkeeper, because if it forces it back to the goalkeeper, all of a sudden that back five then can push out. Force him long. You win that ball, or you catch a load of players offside. But by just allowing him to work it, you're basically just saying, we don't believe in ourselves. We don't believe in our attacking ability. Just come at us, and this is what we're going to do today. He could have set this up in a way where he could have put more pressure on the ball, with instructions and stuff like that. He could have set it up in a way where he instructs, the long balls to hit the channels, to give him Kudus a chance to get onto it, give him Richarlison more of a chance of holding it up and stuff like that. But it's the game plan out of possession, but also the game plan when we do look for the out ball. It's completely failed him today. It's completely wrong. It's too pragmatic. And there are things that he has to change now with that step up from Brentford if he wants to survive as the Spurs coach moving forward.
yeah. And I think another thing too, Dave, is that if you are to play this way, this sort of pragmatic approach and defensive approach, you do still need to have some sort of plan on what you do when
Have
you
to.
do win the ball. Like, I think a good case example might even be, just because it's a recent example and it might all be fresh in our minds. But you saw the way that Sean Dyche sort of set up against Liverpool, right? They were looking to absorb pressure. They were looking to sort of sit back.
Mm.
But every time they won the ball back, or every time they recovered it, they were flying forward. There were guys that were willing runners. They seemed to have a real cohesive plan of how to attack Liverpool once they did get the ball every now and again. Whereas with us, it seems like everyone's just in each other's way. There's no one really busting along to get forward. It is just kind of hoofing it long to Richarlison and hoping. And that's different to what maybe we saw just the other day with a similarly defensive minded coach with Sean Dyche. Like, he seemed to at least have a better plan of what they were going to do when they got the ball back, despite playing, you would say, and also a pretty similar sort of defensive shape, right? And I think
Even
you sort of alluded to that earlier, and I completely agree with that. Like, if you are to play defensive, you still have to have an idea of what you're doing when you get the ball back, and that hasn't shown.
Look, even Heimer Helgerson at Ireland played a similar formation against Portugal. But when we got that ball, we had a clear game plan that the space was, out wide. And if you can't get it out wide, ping it to Parrott. Parrott flicks it on in behind, and Benny gets on the end of it. Right now, we just don't have that game plan. It's nowhere near good enough. But look, that's just from Tottenham's point of view. The referee has been absolutely shocking as well in terms of Michael Twat Oliver. He's been absolutely useless. He's been giving them every bit of rub of the green. He's giving them free kicks, and then you're looking at it up the other end. He's not giving a thing. We've seen players being barged over, pushed over, not given. But also that second goal, I have a huge problem with it. I pointed it out as soon as I seen the replay. At Man City a couple of weeks ago against Liverpool, Liverpool were denied a goal because Robertson was deemed to be in the eye line of the goalkeeper, sort of hindering, him being able to save that ball. You go back and look at that second goal, two Arsenal players offside, and that ball came straight in between them. So it's sort of like, how are they not interfering with sort of Vicario's eyesight, because they're blocking the eye line to the ball. So again, I feel like there has been a bit of injustice here from PGMOL not looking at that and disallowing that goal. I feel like we've been hard done by there on that second. So two things that I have a problem with at halftime.
Yeah. And then Crocodox, I think it is. I know the usernames are changing on YouTube, but I think it's Crocodox. He's saying we have debates on what to blame, but everyone is still responsible. I feel zero attachment to any of these players or staff at the moment. We're a house for poor youngsters and Richarlison. Yeah, I think it's not really one where anyone is really exempt, from the blame, I would say. I think it is just a tactics have unfortunately hurt us this game. We've probably set up far too negative, but then also we don't seem to have any idea or clue what we're doing forward. But I'd also say like guys like Richarlison too, like plenty of times it's like I don't know if it's the instructions or if it's him personally, but there are times when surely he could make more of an effort to press the ball. Same thing to be said about Kudus, who usually is a guy that's happy to press the ball, but they're kind of just sort of letting passes go through them. I mean, I think everyone's under scrutiny, especially after North London derbies and performances like these. Everyone's under scrutiny. Crocodox. Good to have you back with us, though, and I appreciate the
Look,
support.
I get it, Crocodox. I get it. Look, I've sort of I've had my questions around Thomas Frank and stuff like that, but it's not London Derby. It's not over. We got another 45 minutes to endure, and hopefully Thomas Frank can be a bit braver, and go at it the second half. I think, even making a substitution at halftime to allow him to maybe employ a different tactic and look to go and press them higher up the pitch and go at them, I think will certainly galvanise people behind them. I think if we approach it the way we do in the second half, I think more and more people will probably end up feeling like you towards the end of the game, my man.
Yeah. And then Tony saying Sunderland, a promoted side, gave them a far better game. Mid-table manager doing very mid-table things. I think that's kind of been the question around him, right? Is that you haven't really seen much of a change really from how his Brentford team recently played. I know there's been that case and argument that his team played very different in the championship, but since they've moved to the Premier League, we haven't really seen a very progressive, attack minded, Brentford side. It has always been a very defensive, conservative approach. And it's worked for him because I think at mid table clubs like Brentford, it's a great way to play. It's a great way to survive in the Premier League. But when you're at Spurs, right, you are expecting to win a lot more games and you are expecting to sort of take the game to the opposition more often than not. And that's been the big question mark about Thomas Frank. We just don't see that very often, especially against the bigger teams. Lots of times we have sat, in sort of a very negative sort of shape and everything, and we don't seem to have any clue what we're doing when we're going forward. I think people would tolerate this defensive approach if we still had more of an idea when we actually do have a counterattacking situation or we do have a transition moment to try to get forward. But so many times we just are really, really boring and terrible to watch. It
Yeah.
has been sometimes just terrorist football. And
But even against the smaller teams, teams where we
yeah,
should be better in possession, where we should be creating a lot more, it's been dull to watch. It's been boring to watch. There hasn't really been any, bar that Copenhagen game, any real, maybe the first game of the season, any real great sort of performances where we've, gone at teams. And I think if there was in some of them games, then people would maybe be more open to, going into the bigger games, maybe a bit more pragmatic and stuff. But when it's just constant every single game, regardless of the opposition, like it baffles me. Even some of the smaller teams, some of the stuff he's saying about them in the press
yeah, yeah,
conferences, the respect he's shown them, it really does concern me. And I always maintained on I was one of the only ones out there amongst the turmoil at the time that said, look, I get the need for a new manager. I get the wanting to change. But I have my question marks around Thomas Frank. And the one thing I said is he's going to have to evolve his game plan. He can't just copy and paste what he done at Brentford and expect Tottenham fans to get behind it. And, we're seeing that right now. Spurs fans are saying, look, I know we're bad, but we can still be better in possession and stuff like that. And that's where this whole thing, and this is where Thomas Frank is letting himself down massively. He's
Yeah.
struggling to adapt it. When clubs when managers from smaller clubs go to bigger clubs, especially if they're more playing a certain brand of football and they're making that step up, they're expected to be a bit better in possession. And Frank hasn't adapted. We see Nuno fail to adapt when he got the job at Tottenham. Potter at
Yeah.
Chelsea. If these managers don't adapt, very quickly to bounce back out of there. So Thomas Frank, if he wants to be considered for big jobs off the future, he's going to have to start adapting and find a better style of play. He can't just sit there and go, I don't have the options. At the end of the day, he's been given Paulinho, a player to plug the gaps in midfield. He's been given Kudos. He's been given Mawani. He's been given Simmons. We're not getting anything out of any of them. It's not good enough.
And then Chase Mullen saying, we're not effing Brentford. Frank needs to realize that and stop playing this I hope we hang on type of style of football. We doubt Xavi for no reason, or apparently maybe he's just saying, yeah, we're not giving Xavi perhaps, the best of sort of support. I mean, I agree. I think, Chase, I think that's a huge talking point. It's just we don't seem to be playing that differently from a Brentford team, and it's a big worry because, like, I think at Spurs, you are expecting to give it a bit more of a go. You can't just sort of play, like you're saying, sort of this hang on, hope for dear life, type of style of play. It's not really realistic, for a club of our size, to be honest. Even like Jose and Conte, it felt like we still had a bit more endeavor going forward, or there seemed to be a bit of a better idea of what we wanted to do when we went forward, even if we did sort of sit back and absorb a lot of pressure. I think that's maybe the big talking point is if you are going to sit back, if you are going to absorb pressure, you still have to have a clear game plan of what you're doing when you do get the ball. And for a long time under Frank, it hasn't felt like that's the case.
No.
I think that's my big takeaway from these.
Yeah.
And then as well, really appreciate your support, by the way, Chase.
Simmons on?
Say that again, Dave.
Simmons is on.
Oh,
We've
it's
gone
3.
3-0 down.
It's already 3.
Oh my God.
It's
Oh
already
my
fucking
fucking
3.
God. It's getting worse. That is again. He is making us pay for not going all out and getting his signature. Oh my God. Fuck me. The second half is only on the way. I just don't believe it. And you could see their intent from minute 1, by the way. It's straight back to Raya, put it straight on Tottenham, go for the kill. Oh my God.
Steve D saying we're on our way to the worst XG than the Chelsea game. Absolute joke. I mean, I think we only had like 1 touch in the opposition box, if any.
Oh my God! There's so many players just reacting. Kudos is
just all out of shape. I think
Kudos waits till Eze gets the ball to react. If he can see him there free, he's got to get in. He's got to get goal side of him there. That's just not good enough from Kudos. I'm sorry, he has to get goal side of Eze there. He's standing there reacting. He only moves once he gets possession. If he sees that, he's got to fill in. You've got to do that at times.
It's the obvious pass. Eze was the obvious player to play it to there, and Kudos is just asleep.
Their fans are absolutely loving this, especially Eze at the double. Oh my God. We brought Simmons on at halftime, did we? Did I see Simmons? No?
I don't think so.
So no changes at halftime, which means no changes to the shape or anything like that.
No, I do see Simmons, sorry. I mean, we scored 40 seconds in, it's almost impossible. Or they scored 40 seconds in. It's almost impossible to tell who's on. So I imagine we've taken off Odebear.
Oh my God.
No, I think Simmons is on. We probably just took off one of the center backs. I think we probably took off Danzo.
Yeah.
Victoria Robinson becoming a Flat Cap member. Appreciate you, Victoria.
Appreciate the support, Victoria. We do Flat Cap, you said, Jack?
Yeah, Flat Cap. I mean,
Make sure you check out our members only content, that we do.
Yeah, check out the members only stuff, and then also thanks for joining us during probably much needed time of therapy as a Spurs fan. Thanks for joining the pain.
Oh my God. It could get worse here.
And then Jerome saying, are you effing serious? I just went back to the game and Eze has done it again.
I know. But Jerome, they showed intent straight from the kickoff. They didn't bother passing it around. They went straight for us. They have game plans.
I think it's also painful to watch considering, especially with Eze, just someone that every Spurs fan had wanted at the club.
Yeah. Because we knew he'd make an impact. And that was my biggest point around getting him over anybody else. He's Premier League proven. He's ready to come
Yeah.
straight in here.
We made a
Which
bunch of
Salmon,
excuses like, oh, Arsenal player, or how does he fit into the team, all
yeah.
this sort of stuff. And it's like, you can just tell he's a top level player. Like, they don't even miss Odegaard. Eze's better
No.
than Odegaard.
And like that's the thing, right? They have injuries, but they can still go and score goals from open play and create and stuff like that. They're missing Yorkeres today, Odegaard. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Simmons. Oh my god. Oh, holy Jesus.
I think I might take up smoking.
Oh, I need one, actually.
I think I might take up.
It's going to be a long evening, this.
I think I need some sleeping pills. Might need laughing gas. Good night, lads, says Scott Lewis, seriously.
I don't blame you, lad.
It's one of those, man, where probably it's a rainy day outside, very gloomy. Might just walk on the rain by the pier in Seattle. Just get drenched, catch a cold. It's also one of those where if we really finish with like 0 XG again, you'll just be like, did Spurs even play? Oh, nearly 4. This is very, very bad. Top of the box. Great block from Romero.
Oh, fuck it. Come on, Spurs. Show something. Just something. Just even one shot on target at this point will fucking do. Spence. Kudos. Still playing long ball, I swear to
Yeah.
fuck. Jesus Christ, can we get some sort of plan in possession? Can we just work on something? We gave you a whole coaching team. We've given you more than we've given anyone before. Can we please see a plan in possession? You're supposed to be Mr. Plan. Come on. But Cryo, someone just take him out. Good position in there. Doggy. Simmons down the line.
Odegaard's
Oh my
touch
God.
has been so off it today.
Simmons with the David Luiz there. Hair and tackle.
Not a great challenge from Xavi.
Kaza
Still
says
0
still
on
zero
everything, says C4. Yeah, all the stats for us are 0.
This has to be one of Tottenham's worst ever performances ever.
Yeah, this is it's hard to think of a North London derby performance where feels similar to the Nuno one, maybe.
It feels like it's heading that way. I'm not gonna lie.
I think it feels on par. It could get worse.
Well, we're currently sitting 19th in the table or 9th in the table right now. Off the back of that. No! Jesus Christ, they're winning everything. Trossard. Spence, close him down. Eze, ball over top. Bentancur clears. Kudus picks it up. Can we break here?
Touches from Kudus.
Good ball out to Odegaard. You got to go at him now. You got to run at him, Odegaard. You can't turn backwards.
Play Richie, man. Play Richie. Too much dribbling.
Into trouble.
Too much dribbling. Got to play Richie there.
Ref helped him out there, giving him a free kick. Like Richie's made the run, reverse pass it back into his channel, keep the ball moving. Fuck's sake. He looks lost.
I think now I'm probably going to take up what Skunkworks said. I think I need some onion rings and some wine.
Yeah.
Xavi. Not a great delivery.
Spence, well done. Another long ball. Hitting fucking up.
Time, Bentancur time. And he still gets dispossessed. Fuck's sake.
Jesus Christ.
How
they're just more hungrier out of possession than we are, Jack. That's the difference, right? When we're in possession, they're hunting us like packs of wolves. When we're in possession, we're just sitting off them. Look. Massive difference here. Look, showing far too much fucking respect. You're 3-0 fucking down. They don't respect you. Henry said it on Sky Sports before again. He still hates us. Fucking get after them. Show some
100%.
fucking fighting passion, some heart.
100%.
There's too many derby games now. He's same with Chelsea. We just sit off them and give them all the respect in the world. Here we go. Richarlison tries a long one. Does he do that? Oh my God! Richarlison with an absolute fucking screamer. See what happens when you just put a little bit of pressure on? Bentancur wins the ball. Richarlison scores a goal like we did in pre-season. Absolutely unbelievable. Look at this. One bit of pressure here. Who's that? Is that João Palhinha?
Yeah.
Tiny bit of pressure, and look, straight off the back of it. It's all I'm asking for. Show some fucking guts.
Bit of pressure, like you're so spot on, Dave. Just like the difference between us and them out of possession. They show so much more hunger than we have.
What a fucking goal.
Dunk from Richarlison. It's better than it's probably better than Pop Trossard's.
It's goal of the season, that lad.
I think it's better than Pop Trossard.
Yeah,
fucking hell.
It's a competitive fixture. To do
I don't think Raya was that far off his line.
Oh, 1 second.
Oh my God. It's not.
He went 4 down. Come on, break. Let's get a quick second. Let's make a go of this. They're rattled. Richarlison, move. Go down. Oh, you got to go down once you made the contact. Oh, if we can get a second, we just got to get pressure on them. Stop dropping off them. Hopefully, with the coaching team there, hopefully one of them is saying to Frank, that happened because we put pressure on the ball.
Seriously. I think you're spot on about that, Dave. Spot on. Just from the moment, even in the first half, right? The first half even showed that. Just every time they lost the ball, absolutely hounding us, all over us. Whereas with us, we're just all over the shop, and no one is willing to put pressure on. Van de Ven.
Go on, skin him.
I'll take a 6-3 loss at this point, says Tony. I just want to see fight.
Yeah. Just go at them. Q7, credit where credit's due. Great goal, sir. But he's still a mug.
That is such a Richarlison goal.
Hold it up now. Oh, he's turned into Ronaldo now. Look at this. Kudus has been way off it today.
Yeah. Odebear as well, I'd say. Well done by Palhinha again.
Ref, can we have a free on Richarlison there, man?
Please don't blow it up, man. Please don't blow it up. They've been going, honestly, though. What is shameless? What is shameless? I feel like they've been diving on every single occasion. Every time there's a challenge on them, they're always on the floor crying.
I think you need to get Odebear off the pitch, and maybe bring on a Mawani out on that left-hand side.
He doesn't even do anything there as well. He doesn't. It's him. He kicks him.
It's a joke. He's bought that one. Need to find out how much Oliver is, what's in his dressing room, what perks have they put in there to sweeten him up.
Our only shot on target, and it was 45 yards out. Yeah, I feel like our XG is probably still 0.
Now we're outperforming it by 9 goals now.
Yeah, after that, be overperforming it by 20. I'd imagine the XG is still 0. I don't even think that probably even registers.
We're back in the game. They're nervous. If we can get a second, we'll turn the screw on this. Come on, Mo. Go on, Mo. Come on, Richie. Well, he's rattled. There we go. Well done,
Well done,
Rami.
Romero.
Oh, De Boer, come on, will you fucking run? Stop stopping all the time.
Well done,
Well done,
Jed.
Spence. Well done, Jedi.
Well done,
Come
Jed.
on, let's turn the fucking up a bit. Come on. And Van de Ven taking the kick-outs are starting to fuck me off as well.
We play it short.
Oh, Lord. Oh, no. Oh, no.
We get out.
Right, let's go. Come on, Space.
Somehow.
Let's go, Doggy. Go. Right, Wilson. Come on, Wilson. Wilson delivers. Oh, it's
Not a good ball.
Everyone's gone back post. No one's near it.
No one's in the middle.
Core.
What a challenge again from Palhinha.
Oliver, you fuck off. Come on,
Xavi.
Xavi. Do what Eze's done. It's what we brought you to do.
Good
Corner
play
kick.
from Xavi. Goal kick.
Is he giving a goal kick there? Oh, my God.
Fuck off.
He's disgraceful. He couldn't see. Simmons' hair was in his way. Oh. He's giving them absolutely everything. Win that, Spence. It's Trossard, man. Don't be letting him do that to you. Ah, there we go.
Well done, Jed.
Bit of fight.
Well done, Jed.
Now we're turning up for
Cleanest
the
challenge of the game. Cleanest challenge of the game. Romero into Palhinha. Played that too late to Kudus. Kudus. Still Kudus. Kudus.
Come on, Mo.
Dude, they keep going down every single time. Every single time they even get remotely even touched, they're just going to the floor. He has to start copping onto this, Michael Oliver.
Pull him up, Richie. Let's get Moani on the pitch. They're just going to take an eternity over every set piece as well. This has already been about 5 minutes long. I'm envisioning 3-3 on that scoreboard by the end of this game. Come on, Spence. Make him your bitch. Well done, Jedi.
Is he giving a free kick again? How many times did we see Richarlison had 6 guys pulling his limbs out and he's not giving anything, and then he's giving Trossard that? Just
now he's trying to ramp it up with the Tottenham bench. What a dick! What a dick! I'd love to punch him in the face. Such an asshole, isn't he? Come on, let's clear this. Got all 11 men back there. Vicario punches it clear, falls to Eze again. Eze again. Please block it. Don't let them shoot.
offside.
Goal kick. Offside.
Offside.
We'll have that. Well, if that's offside, because, should have given offside for their second goal. Here we go. Here we go. Moani and Papa Massar, 2 players that should have started.
Jeez, how cold is Matisse Tell?
Oh, come on.
No one's showing for the ball there.
No. Richie, can he win it? No. Arsenal pick it up. Back to your keeper, Van der Ven.
Well done.
Right, let's get some shape about us and let's go.
Good turn
good
from
turn.
Palhinha.
Come
What
on,
a
Zhao.
turn.
Good ball to
Good
Richie.
ball into Richie.
Can we go for another 50-yarder? Moves it on. Udogi. This is better.
Good
This is
ball
good
into
football.
Odebear.
Come on. Come on, Wilson. Back to
As
Simmons.
time for
Simmons
Xavi
shoots.
shoots it.
No, what are you shooting
Not the
from
right
there?
idea, man.
You've got
Not
three
the right
players
shot.
queuing up for a header, for fuck's sake.
You got to put some bend on that, and you got to sort of whip it towards the back post there. You can't
Even
be
if you're going to
shooting
shoot there, I mean, make sure it
Not a
just
good
doesn't
shot.
dribble into the goalkeeper's hands. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, it's not even a good effort.
Offside.
Tony from earlier, appreciate the support today. Tony saying, Richie said, F these Thomas Frank tactics. I'm shooting this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So does João Palhinha, by the way.
I mean, Thomas Frank, we know, right? He says he hates sort of the shot from outside the box. He just said, fuck it.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, he doesn't like them shooting from outside the box as well. You're spot on. What, third lowest in the league for shots?
No, I mean, he even said it in that interview, right? With the Lawrence Alcott. Yeah. He said, he just thinks that it's very low percentage.
Well, he's got a few insane goals to thank for our XG stat.
Yeah.
See, this is the problem. He just doesn't see football the right way going forward. Can we progress it forward, guys? That'd be lovely. 2 goals behind. Romero into Bentancur. Into Jed. Jed down the line. Just down the line, Jed. Kudus is there. Down the line, Jed. Down the fucking line, Jed.
He's still playing like he's on the left back. He's still playing like he's at the left side.
He's right-footed. Someone tell him.
It's an interesting mask. It's not like he has it over his eyes or anything.
He has the ability to score 2 goals like that, this guy. Yeah, it's only for his jawline. He doesn't need it across the bridge of his nose. Bentancur's off for Papa
Looks like a stormtrooper. He looks like a...
Come on, Sarah. You have a goal in you, kid. I know you do.
He's got a proper helmet on.
Speaking of proper helmets, Oliver, can we get on with the game now?
He broke his jaw, not his nose. Yeah, fair.
Win that.
I just was envisioning more of an actual mask.
God. Oh, my God. Well done. Good recovery, Destiny. Fucking unbelievable. Van der Ven holding off Saka there as well from getting back. Down the line, someone. Let's just get the ball to Mwani's feet, please. Spence is incapable of just going direct, isn't he? He's incapable.
Yeah, him and Kudus have just not linked up at all. And then we go long. Kolo's going to be on the left. Richarlison still through the middle.
That's
well done.
Oh
my God, man. He blows up everything for them.
He is giving them absolutely everything.
They just get touched, and it's a foul every time. I'm sorry, but I've seen Richarlison just getting absolutely manhandled, and he doesn't give anything. But then every time that it's a challenge with us. Where's the Oliver that hates Arsenal? That seems like it's been the opposite.
Yeah. It's being a fucking Arsenal loving, isn't it?
Unlucky.
Oh, come on.
Well done.
Let's go. Where's Mwani?
Chip him again.
Hold it. Let Mwani get up ahead. He's the only one that's going to score.
Good ball into Richie.
Hold it up. Lay it off. Done your job. Brilliant. In the box.
It's too heavy. Fuck's sake, man.
Oh, holy shit. I said in the box, not fucking out of it. Jesus Christ. We are such a frustrating team. We are so frustrating. It's just moments like that. You just have to start producing a bit better quality. And there's no excuse for it. Their midfielders can fucking pop in balls from there. Why can't we? You're Premier League midfielder, for God's sake. Ref, get him up. Don't even slow it down for that twat. Thank you. Let's just play on. Oh my God, what are we even getting entangled in it for? Just play on.
Man, the amount of fucking times they've been on the floor this game is infuriating. They've been on the floor this whole game. Every single player in the Arsenal team has dove to the floor.
And he gets straight up because he doesn't want to come off for the 30 seconds. Oh, lovely from
It's
that.
literally nothing as well. Jesus Christ, man. I mean, as much as they've outplayed us, they've also outplayed us in the fucking acting. How many free kicks have they just earned off of almost minimal contact?
Right, Oliver, how long are you going to let them remonstrate with you before you start booking players and actually let us get on with the game?
Romero giving a yellow card as well. Romero giving a yellow card for bringing up a basic argument.
A yellow card because he's not allowed to speak to the referee. I mean,
he's literally the captain.
Yeah, the game's gone. And I wouldn't mind they asked only for captains to speak because they couldn't handle the pressure off everyone else. Now the captain does, he books them. It's ridiculous. Richie, good ball. Oh, please, Marnie.
Oh, the touch. I think it was Pop Matasar. Just slightly heavy touch. Great flick from Richarlison.
If we can get a second, they're going to sit back for the rest of the game and look to see it out. Oh, who's off?
It's a great flick from Richarlison. It's so ridiculous that he gets booked for just making an obvious complaint.
But is that not like the second or third time he's been booked this season for doing that? I remember you saying making the same case for him earlier on in the game as well.
It's like they forget he's the captain.
No. Vicario, good save. Could he maybe held on to that though?
Yeah, it didn't look like the toughest of shots to handle.
Time is running out. Gonna stay switched on here. If we can get a second before 88 minutes, we have 10 minutes to try and salvage this. Paulinho moves it on to Romero. He goes long. Still can't get a hold of it. Fuck me. Mo Kudus hasn't got a hold of anything today. Now Oliver's even defending for us. Another Arsenal corner. Oh, man. I don't know how much more I can take watching us being out of possession.
No, we really are woeful.
Just so happy to give up possession and just sit in all the time. I'm fed up with it now. This is a North London derby. I mean, you got to be brave. One thing I said is you can't come into this game with fear. And what do? Bring fear into the game from minute one. I'm okay with the back five, but send your strikers to go and press the fucking ball and put pressure on them. The one bit of pressure we can do, we scored from. It's disgusting. There we go.
Oh my God, nearly scored from set piece.
Vicario tries to go along. He's asking a hell of a lot there from Kudus.
as they beats him for pace there.
Good pressure, Moani. Anyone else following it up? There we are. Let's go. Come on, Rami.
Just miscues it.
Christ. Oh.
Well done, Romero. Or Van de Ven, sorry. Xavi, what a run.
Play him, play him. Play him, get your head up. Oh, you had Moani, man. Kudos. No, it's a shocking ball. It is a he's had a bad game today. He's had an absolute shocker. Plucks that one out of the air.
Flip him again. Flip him again. Chip him again.
Shit delivery again. Oh my God. Do we even work on crossing the ball? Do we even work on it? Richarlison, now's not the time to get embroiled. We're chasing the game, please. Do that when we're 0-0. Twat Oliver, leave him alone and get on with the game. Two good opportunities to deliver two good balls into the box there, and we don't take either of them. Flat ball. Back to Romero. Arteta trying to tell his team to get out here. Press us. Big difference to Frank in the first half. He's telling our team to push back. Vicario. Oh no. It's Eze again. It's an Eze
hat-trick. My fucking God, man.
Oh my God.
Scores a fucking hat-trick.
Oh my God, this is embarrassing. This is embarrassing. This is fucking embarrassing.
Scores a fucking hat-trick.
It is men against boys, this shit.
It is. And it couldn't be a worse player to do it against us. I mean, it's ridiculous that people even tried to rationalize not bringing Eze. This guy's just absolutely had a world-class performance against us. Composure that he has in front of goal. Udogie slips. Udogie almost comically just sliding across.
Oh, fucking hell. That's the cost of not doing business. A fucking hat-trick. And he's been shit since he's moved there as well. Madueke, ex-Spurs boy, is on now. Kudus is limping, which is not good.
Poro on, Brennan Johnson on. Towel's been thrown.
Oh, fuck yeah.
I'd probably give up one of my kidneys to have Eze in our team. I wouldn't even take the 40 grand, 50 grand you can sell a kidney for. It actually. Oh my God, Richie.
They're even got their scars flying around their heads now. This is party time for them. This is getting embarrassing. Simmons, he's got space here. Let's see what our £60 million guy, the replacement for Eze, can do.
Is he taking another shot? Is he taking another shot, man? He is pissing me off.
Oh my God. That's what we brought in instead of Eze, by the way. And that's twice he's done this.
He also had runners. He had Kolomwani there. He could have crossed it into Kolomwani. What the fuck is he doing?
They're going against the manager's game plans now. They're shooting from distance. Oh, it's always backwards. Every pass is always backwards. You're our number 10. We signed you for 60 million. Can you pass it forward? There we go. There we go. That's more like it. Doggy down the line.
Kolomwani. Well done, Kolo.
More endeavor than any of our wingers are showing today, anyway.
Yeah, like seriously, the fact that he turned, faced his man.
Daniel, last season we brought this in instead of Eze. What a sad life.
Yeah, man. I think it was. Imagine there were times when people were saying that Simmons is better than Eze. It's just like Jesus. Even
What's
though
worse was the copium after when we lost Eze. You know, he's not that great. Simmons is much better. You know, and all that. And I mean, you look at the difference on the pitch today. Who got the better deal?
we did it for 2 summers in a row. Like when he also stayed at Crystal Palace the other season, we were saying like, oh, Johnson, look at his goals and assists versus Eze's. It's like, come on, like what are we talking about here? He's simply a top level player.
Oh my God, we are incapable.
He's doing everything for them, Eze.
What was that from Porro? He's all the time in the world, and he puts it straight onto the first man. Seriously. Like Sar's coming short looking for the ball. Vicario's blowing it long. None of these even know what the game plan is. None of them actually know what the game plan is in possession. None of them. Oh my God, Porro gets done. Does well to recover there, actually. But none of them know what the game plan is.
No.
Sar's dropping deep saying, give me the ball. I want to play through the thirds. And Vicario's gone pumping it long. Same with Chelsea. It reminds me of that free kick at the end of the game against Chelsea. Put it in the box. No, we try and play short. Kaz says there is no game plan.
Yeah.
It felt like the only game plan today was how do we contain them. It felt like there was no game plan in terms of, you know, what if things do go wrong? How do we get back into the game? How do we go at them? What areas do we target, you know, to try and get a bit of joy? But look, I've been trying to say this for a long time about Thomas Frank. I've seen it coming. I've seen it week in, week out on the football pitch. The lack of game plan in possession, the lack of aggression out of possession. You know, they're the two big things, the two big difference makers today. Reality is, we all thought this is going to be a set-piece derby. The biggest difference is Arsenal have shown they can score goals from open play. They have more than just set pieces about them. We don't. We are set piece SC, and outside of that, we have absolutely nothing. But look, in reality, I didn't mind going in with the back five. It wasn't my preference, but I didn't mind it. But it's how you set your team up out of possession as well. Do you want to go and be aggressive, put pressure on the ball? You know, which, by the way, in that interview with James Lawrence Alcott, he boasted about how he loves being aggressive out of possession, you know, going and pressing the ball. Yet every game we've watched this year, he sits the defenders right, or the strikers right on top of the midfielders and plays more and more pragmatic, you know. So I'm not sure what's going on. I don't know whether he's lost the run of himself. I don't know whether the players aren't executing what's being shown to them. It's just got to the point where it's just, there's so many questions have to be asked off the back of this. Like, this is atrocious.
Yeah.
We sit ninth now in the Premier League table, so no one can even sit there and boast about league position anymore.
Yeah.
It's getting progressively worse. That's one win now since the last international, since not the international break just gone, but since the last one before that. One win. No, sorry, two with Copenhagen. Another long ball. Holy
Another
Jesus.
offside. Who the fuck was offside?
This is absolute garbage. We are taking a pounding here. Jerome with the super chat. Big up, Jerome. He says, let's be real. It's a real beatdown, and it was due for us. I said this, that the way we play is not sustainable. Ryan better have a very good excuse on the next fan show. Well, look, we're going to have to run that fan show tomorrow evening, Jerome. So, you're more than welcome to come on and have your say. And look, to be fair, you are one that has been saying it about, that it's not sustainable the way we've been playing and stuff like that. And look, I think many people wanted you to be wrong, including myself, but you haven't been, Jerome. And look, to be fair, I've tried to say about it, the last international break, even before that, the Wolves game, I said, bad game to be dropping points in because we've got a really tough period coming up that I don't feel like the way we're playing is going to help us survive and stuff like that. And, what you're seeing is now that we sort of played everyone once, you're starting to see things sort of even out and you're getting a real glimpse of, that we're not so great. And but we could sit here and say it's down to personnel, but we brought in 4 or 5 new players that were supposed to make a massive difference to last year. It's just shocking, Jerome. Do you know what? Do you know what it is, though, Jerome? For me, it's just the lack of aggression today. For North London Derby, it's just a lack of aggression out of possession, even in possession. There's no aggression about us. There's no bite around us. There's no grit about us. Now we want to get into an entanglement when we're 4-1 down, and it's Pedro Porro who's only after being brought on as well. What an absolute
Well, I mean,
this
is a nasty challenge.
Fight.
It's a nasty challenge from Declan Rice. And referee doesn't even blow it up as a yellow, which is also absurd. Again, Michael, and it's not an excuse at all, but Michael Oliver has been nothing short of atrocious tonight. That was a disgusting challenge from Rice. No attempt to even play the ball whatsoever. Also broke up an attack. That broke up a counterattack. Surely that's a yellow card by the 86th minute. And he doesn't even give it as a yellow. He gives it as a yellow after they get into a fight.
Even fucking Sunderland lay more of a glove on these than what we have.
Sorry, Dave. No, you were spot on, though, about what Jerome.
Oh, well, it's a little kick in the back after there from Declan Rice.
I know, but Michael Oliver didn't even give that as a yellow.
But, I mean, Pedro Porro, I mean, you're chasing the game, you're 4-1 down. Is that really the time? $17 shots to R3. Holy shit. We've had 2 of them from Simmons, actually. Yeah, I forgot.
2 of them were Simmons shots, which were terrible shots.
But Jerome, the way we are in possession, just relying on set pieces, it is not sustainable, and we have absolutely nothing else about us. We are toothless. We've also got Tony O in the house. Says he sat pragmatic against Bodo the coward. And look, that one should have been the warning signs.
Yeah, that was.
The way we were against Bodo, the respect we paid to them. At the end of the day, it was Norwegian champions. And I tried to highlight. Under Ange Postecoglou with a shit team, shit manager, we went there and bet them 2-0. They're not that great, are they? But everyone told me, praise the resilience, Dave, praise it. We came back, praise the resilience. Well, where the fuck is that today in a game that actually matters? Spurs' away end is empty.
Yeah, we're the one who emptied the fucking seats.
I don't blame them. What are they hanging around for? It's and the home stadium's going to start going like that as well because we've got serious home problems. Once again, the October curse has come around and we haven't been able to survive it. RST with the super chat says, Frank looking like an absolute twat, saying Eze, who, him, and the players deserve to get ripped apart for this today. PSG will be even worse. Potter 2.0. How'd you feel about that, Jacko?
Yeah, the Ezehu thing, like, I didn't mind it at the time, but it
Come
has,
back to bite
come
him today.
back to be a bit of a meme. It will
Yeah.
be blown up. I didn't mind it though. Like, I think the question obviously was about, the fact that, whether we were in contention to sign him and everything like that. Like, I didn't mind it, but it is going to be clipped up. But the thing is about the PSG game is that PSG are an even more of an attacking side than Arsenal are,
Yeah.
and that's a big worry. If we play like this against PSG, it would be. I mean, it's 4 this game, and it could easily be 5, 6, 7 against PSG.
But yeah, RST, I mean, look, it was my biggest fear about Frank stepping up. The style of the football, bigger players, bigger egos. They're going to want to be on the ball. They don't want to sit there listening to how great the opposition is all the time. Sometimes they want to worry about themselves, and I just think this is what's going to let them down, because I'm not being funny. It's okay when things are working, but when things aren't working, players start losing belief in what you're asking them to do. You lose buy-in and stuff like that. And I mean, 4-1 in the North London derby. I mean, we didn't even get beat this bad last year.
Yeah, no, this might actually be the worst.
This is one of the worst performances I've ever seen away at the Emirates. I'd say there's going to be quite a bit of fucking Frank out on socials after this game. Still maybe too
I
soon.
just think
But
it's hard to defend him after this. It really is. Like, whether even you want him out or not, like, it's hard to defend him after
yeah,
this. It's just one of those. You just he has to face scrutiny. I don't
maybe the
think you
scrutiny
can. I
might be a
don't think
good
even
thing
the
for
whole
him.
patience argument can even be brought up. It's like, come on, like, you can't be taking a performance like this and see any sort of positives
No.
whatsoever. That's where I don't really
And you
the whole
can't even say
patience.
we're a team in transition either. Like, there's nothing to galvanize you
Yeah.
off the back of this. There's
I
nothing
think
to
I
decide.
think the patience argument holds up if you have encouraging signs of some sort. Like, you're seeing something being built, but at the minute, the last few games, there's been very little to sort of be encouraged by.
But but even like the thing is,
So
Frank's
that's where
game
patience
plan,
doesn't really hold up, to be honest.
Frank's whole game plan relies on clean sheets. Conceded 4 today, 2 against
Yeah.
United, 1 against Chelsea, 2 against Newcastle.
Yeah.
2 against Aston Villa, 1 against Leeds, 2 against Bodo Glimt, 1 against Wolves. You know what I mean? 2 against Brighton. The clean sheets are not there like they were at the start of the season. In fact, if you go look at the start of the season and the way the trend is with results and stuff, it's starting to look a lot the way Nuno's went.
I think also a big concern for me is just like watching other managers who do play a version of sitting back still look so much better going forward than us. Like, watching Forest the other day, they look so much better than us the way that they sit back and still attack. Crystal Palace, they do sit back a little bit. They still look so much better going forward than us,
Yeah.
even though they sit back. You look at
Like how
even
little
Nuno,
we
like
create.
Nuno's teams, like Nuno, even like, right? Like, they were dreadful to watch, but like, they seem to have a real idea of what they wanted to do when they did get forward.
But where the real warning signs were under Nuno, he had Harry Kane and Son, and they were sitting so deep, almost picking up the ball in their own half, trying to beat teams and stuff like that. When you're not getting anything out of them, that's where the scrutiny comes on Nuno. Okay, it's a Nuno problem. And I'm not being funny, but Frank has had investment in that forward line.
Yeah.
He's not going with the same forward line we had last year. He's had investment, and he's not getting anything out of anybody. We're not creating chances. We're not really getting a sniff at goal. And when you're not keeping clean sheets, it's not sustainable. It's
Yeah.
just not. He has to come up with a different game plan now. If not, the writing's on the wall if it continues this way.
Yeah.
He has to adapt now. Now is the moment he has to take lessons and adapt. Look at this. They're just passing around waiting for the final whistle, and we're just allowing them. No instruction to show any bit of desire and get after the fucking ball. Oh my God.
It also really could be 4-0. Like, that's the thing. It does
Yeah.
feel like 4-0, but, it
Well,
took one wonder goal from Richarlison, but we haven't actually created any real chance whatsoever.
a moment of brilliance from a player
That's
that just
also
is
hu
shit.
that's a huge worry too, is that we haven't actually created a single chance.
We haven't laid a glove. We haven't forced Raya into any saves whatsoever, Jack. The 2 shots from Simmons. One was just dribbled into him. The other one was dribbled wide. We only scored off a moment of brilliance. And look, the warning signs were there from the North London Derby at pre-season, relying on a moment of brilliance from Papa Matsar. I remember saying after that game, as much
Mhm.
as we're getting excited about it, that's not going to carry us through the season. And that's the only goal, that's the only effort of pure brilliance going forward we've seen today. Was Richarlison, spontaneously with a moment of madness, lobbing David Raya from about 45 yards. Apart from that, we have not laid a glove on them going forward. And there's no excuses in terms of transition, personnel, etc. We've gone there with worse teams, and even last year on Range Postecoglou, and gave it a better go than fucking this. There was no hunger no hunger, no desire. The whole game plan was just to come in, sit in, and contain them. It wasn't even a game plan that if we went behind, what we're going to do to try and get back into it. Even when we brought all of the players off the bench there today, we still reverted to long ball, long fucking ball, long ball, long ball, long ball. And it just didn't work. The game plan today was, and I said it before the game, you can't come in here with fucking fear. You cannot. The way we set up was fearful. And look, like I said, even the back five, not even major issue to me. But that line of engagement, how aggressive you're going to be out of possession. This guy had the fucking audacity to do an interview for Sky Sports with James Lawrence Alcott, sitting there going, I love being aggressive, going and pressing the ball. It's what I love. I love it. And yet every game we've seen, we've sat back, deeper, deeper, deeper. And all we're allowing them to do is pass the ball across the back line, straight into the channels, and put the pressure on us. It's nowhere near good enough. And the big difference today, 2 things. Three things. First one, how aggressive they were out of possession. When they lost the ball, they hunted in packs. They didn't give us a minute on the ball. When they were in possession, we gave them all the time in the world to toy with us. Absolutely fucking embarrassing. Our goal, came from João Paulinho breaking ranks, getting out there, getting aggressive, putting pressure on the ball, and we scored off the back of it. That's what we were good at the start of the season. Going after teams, putting pressure on the ball, turning it over. But somewhere along the line, Frank has changed it, asked us to sit deeper and deeper and deeper and deeper, and it is causing us problems. We were bound to concede with the way we were playing in the first half. Then he has no game plan once we get the ball. What was the game plan in possession? And this isn't something I've asked about today. This is something I've asked about for weeks now. What is the idea of in possession in terms of, patterns of play, what areas we're going to try and attack, what areas of weakness do we see in their defence that we're going to chink at? We don't see any of that. But this has been, a performance like this, a result like this, where we were going to be humiliated, was coming. We got away with it against Chelsea, only losing 1-0. We got away with it. We got away with it against Man United. We got away with it earlier on in the season. But I was warned this was coming. Frank had to change up his game plan. He had to do more. I don't want to sit there and hear, oh, well, he's only got Richarlison and Johnson. It's not the same forward line as last year.
Can't
We
be
spent
this
massive
bad.
money on fucking Mohamed Kudus. We spent massive money on Xavi Simons. We brought in Kolo Muani, and we even gave him a defensive midfielder to make us more combative in midfield, which there means we're giving him players to go and be more aggressive. And all he's doing is sitting in the back like we're a mid-table team, like we're fucking Brentford. At Brentford, it works because they got players that know their level, know their ability, so
Yeah.
they're happy to go with the game plan. At Tottenham Hotspur, you got players of a better caliber. They want to be more in possession. They want to go after the ball. You're seeing so many teams now being more aggressive trying to go after the ball, and we're resorting back to being scared. You come up against the smaller oppositions. This guy is glazing them before the games. This is what they're good at. That's what they're good at. He's almost giving them a confidence boost heading into the game. And then what we're seeing is being set up reactionary to that. And you keep setting up like that without having a game plan or any focus on how you're going to score going forward beyond set pieces, because if you can't even get up the pitch to win set pieces, how do you expect to then to be able to fucking rely on them? It's absolutely shocking. There's going to be so much scrutiny off the back of it. And to be honest with you, it needs it, Jack, because there hasn't
Yeah.
been any honest conversations around any of the community or any Spurs fans regarding Tottenham. It's either been one way or the other. Where we're at right now is we need to start sitting there and having honest conversations. Frank was brought in to be the saviour. It's shown that one coach can't do it all on his own, but he has been given a good transfer window, or a much better transfer window than managers in the past. And what he really needs to adapt. If he doesn't adapt, this trend is following the same as it did with Nuno. Got off to a good start, keeping clean sheets, and then
Yeah.
all of a sudden everything tails off. And this is exactly the way this project is going. One win in the Premier League since not the last one, but the international break before that. The XG today is probably lower than what it was against Chelsea. This is not sustainable. Our home form is shit. Something you rely on to get into Europe. And in the past, we've been able to explain defeats away by sitting there going, oh, we're still in 4th or 5th. Look at us. We're fucking sitting 9th in the table tonight with Newcastle away coming up. Very quickly after that game, we could be sitting right down back to where we were similar last season. And then what's fucking changed? Absolutely nothing. And this isn't all on Thomas Frank, by the way. And players need to take a long, hard look at themselves. 50-50 duels, holding up the ball, competing for headers. None of that was there today. Even when we're down, show a bit of heart, show a bit of fight, and go and press the ball. We're sitting in, waiting for them to pass it around, sitting off them, all lovey-dovey. It's supposed to be a fucking rivalry. You're supposed to bloody hate these guys. Show a bit of fucking stones about yourself. Show a bit of bollocks. They also don't escape criticism tonight. And to be honest with you, I hope this game gets scrutinised to fuck and it wakes them players up in that dressing room. That's all I have to say on it now.
No, I think 2 points there that you made that are spot on, Dave, is that it seems like the players as well, like they can't really hide because we played a very attack-minded, very brave style under Ange. We still lost games on such a regular basis, right? That, and then we've now moved over to a much more defensive, pragmatic manager, and we're still losing games in this sort of type of manner where it's just completely embarrassing. So it's not like they can really hide from the criticism and, throw the coach under the bus, really, because they've had totally different coaches, totally different styles, and yet the performances and the results are starting to look kind of a bit of the same. But then you're also just correct in just saying that even though he's had, I would say, these new additions of Xavi Simons, Kolo Muani, etc., that he hasn't gotten the best out of, I know I've criticized Richarlison. I know I've said, the likes of Johnson, etc., just aren't good enough. It still shouldn't look this bad. It really shouldn't look this bad, even if they are below standard, below average. It really is just completely dreadful to watch going forward. And I feel like even if you are a Brentford mid-table type style manager, you should still be able to assemble some type of cohesion, some type of forward thinking, and some sort of type of idea when you do have the ball. And it seems like we have less than an idea, less than an iota of an idea of what we're doing when we actually have the ball. And that's the bigger concern. Is I don't think he has the best hands to deal with, but I'm not going to give him an excuse because it's even worse than I would even, say it could be. Like there's just no positives to take from the sort of style of play that we're having. Like I'm watching other managers who play a very negative, very defensive style of football, but yet they do seem to have some type of plan with the players they have available when they do get forward, when they do have the ball. And with us, it's like we have less than an idea of when we do have the ball. And that's my big worry at the minute. That's my big takeaway from this game, to be honest.
The thing is, Jack, we can sit here and say, oh, yeah, better players at Brentford.
Can't give him the Richarlison is bad excuse,
No, you can't. Look, at the end of the day, the only reason why we scored today is because Richarlison broke ranks and hit a shot from 45 yards.
Yeah.
Frank doesn't like his team shooting from distance whatsoever. Like you said, he said that in the interview with James Lawrence Alcott. The fact that we've attempted only 4 through balls and completed 2. Again, that's on Frank. That's and what he's doing, he's limiting what we can get out of Xavi Simons, limiting what we can get out of Kudos, limiting what we can get out of our 4 players, because he wants everything to feet. He wants to control every asset of the game. Sometimes you have to let these forward players play with freedom if you want to go and get the best out of them. But this lack of creativity has been here all season long. And we bought 3 players in for which no fan had any problem with, by the way, all quality, when we signed them. Even Simons, how many people sat there and said, he's better than Eze? Well, we fucking seen on the pitch today that was just copium. That was absolute delusion. The guy went and scored a hat-trick today, But and people could sit here and say, well, by not getting Eze, it doesn't help Frank. Well, then Frank shouldn't sit there and go, Eze who then, and antagonise him before an North London derby, and then he goes out and answers it with a hat-trick. But in general, how bad we've been going forward, I've tried to highlight for weeks now, for a long time. It's not just down to a quality of individuals. We brought in 3 players that everyone thought was quality, and we should be looking a lot better. There today, no through balls. And the only shots we did muster up, the 3 shots we did muster up, are because players shot from outside the box and broke ranks. This guy going forward has absolutely no idea. And I made the case when we were bringing him in from Brentford. Their scouting model is designed to find undervalued players in the market that their stats predict this is going to be their ceiling. How much of that is down to Thomas Frank and his coaching, and how much of that is down to their scouting model actually paying dividends and being, fit for purpose? And I think what we're seeing is that it was more down to the scouting model and the players that they brought in the forward line that they predicted were going to hit a ceiling, hitting that ceiling, and the scouting model was absolutely spot on, more so than Thomas Frank. I'm not being funny, but no shots, barely any shots from outside the box this season. I think we sit third from bottom on that. Through balls attempted, we're bottom. Through balls completed, we're bottom. It's not fucking good enough. It can't continue like this, and he has to do something with that forward line. I'm sorry, we have the ability to be able to do better than what we're currently showing with it. And I'm not having it with Thomas Frank. That is an area he needs to work on himself. We can sit here and focus on squad problems. Granted, we can sit here and focus on what we didn't do in transfer windows. Granted, but no other manager has been given that fucking excuse in years gone by and have been sacked off the back of it. And this guy certainly ain't getting that excuse. He needs to do better and find a better fucking game plan moving forward. The Spurs fans will not tolerate this. At the end of the day, we've been famous for the push and run football. We're known for playing an exciting brand of football going forward. You made this point earlier on in the season. Pragmatic managers at Tottenham don't last too long because Spurs fans, as soon as it goes wrong, can't tolerate it. We are, and that's just because the way we've played the game in years gone by with different managers, where it's like, look, maybe we don't have a great back line, but we're always going to go and have a go. No matter who the opposition is, we'll always go and have a go. And right now, we're not doing that. We are not doing that, and it's not sustainable.
I think Tony's super chat has more or less been answered with a lot of what you've said, Dave, but he did sort of to reemphasize what you were bringing up, saying players don't come into big clubs like ours just to sit back. And I think you brought up that point where at a Brentford, at these sort of clubs like a Fulham or something like that, or a Wolves or whatever, like what you're in for. You know that you're not going to be a team that's going to dominate the ball. You are going to be a team that is going to sort of concede possession, look to hit teams on the break, have to sort of dig in and sort of play a bit more of an ugly brand of football to get results, to sort of survive. But when you do come to a bigger club, you are expecting to sort of be on the ball more. You are expecting to have more of a bravery about you to sort of take the game to the opposition. And that just hasn't been seen on a consistent basis enough with Thomas Frank here at Spurs. It's more like he's carried on that mentality of the way that he's played over to Spurs. And if the results aren't coming his way, then people are going to cop on to that pretty quickly, that it just feels like we're just Brentford light, really. And it's something that I think more or less you did answer, but I think Tony is spot on about that. That maybe it's even hard for him to instill this sort of style of play because, again, like it's not really the way that big name players like a Van de Ven or Romero, etc., really probably want to play. They probably don't want to play this sort of type of brand of football. So it is a good point.
The thing is, there's a healthy balance, right? I'm okay with setting up sometimes against opposition to contain them for the first while. Sometimes that's needed. Today's game needed that for the first 20 minutes, half an hour. But you still have to find a way of in possession, how you get out, how you relieve pressure, how you pick up free kicks, throw-ins, stuff like that, that could buy you time to get up the pitch and stuff like that. We didn't see any of that. My big question is, against Man City earlier on in the season, we went for the jugular, we went for their throat, we forced Donnarumma into mistakes, we forced our back line into mistakes by pressing the living shit out of them. Even some of our goals against Burnley came from pressing the ball. It's where a lot of our goals came from. That's why Papa Matsar was so influential.
Yeah, that's a confusing bit.
Because of the press. Where is that? Why have we gone into the Chelsea game sitting so far off them? Man United sitting so far off them. Today, sitting so far off them. This style of football isn't getting results. So why has he changed it?
That is a huge question mark. Is that against PSG, against Man City, you saw so much more of a real aggression about us, a real bullying about us that maybe was a tad bit different to the Ange press, but still sort of had similar principles where we were looking to engage, we were looking to turn the ball over in good areas. Kind of since those games, there's been very little evidence that we've tried to repeat that of any kind. And that is something I am confused by as well, and I don't have any answers for.
And I want to be clear as well, because I know some people are saying in the chat, we were always going to lose this game. I mean, first of all, bit of defeatist mentality by you guys, and you're going to have the audacity to sit here
To
and say
lose
to
in
me
this
after
manner, though,
today.
like, come on, like
But
maybe
the same people are going to sit there and have the audacity after this game to say, sit there, they believe. We were always going to lose this game, but believe. But if you think we're always losing this game heading into it, then maybe you don't believe yourself that hard. And the reality is, I get this was always going to be a monumental task. I said it before the game. But to put in, and the one thing I said I wouldn't accept is a similar level performance that we done against Chelsea. And today was probably worse. And that's where the anger comes in. I get it was always an uphill task. I get, if you're a betting man, most people bet on Arsenal today. But we were worse than we were against Chelsea, and the performance levels weren't there. And that's the one thing everyone said they will not tolerate after this game. And I'm not sitting there, and I'm sick of these excuses for him. We were always going to lose today's game. The reality is, we brought him in because most people thought he'd make a difference in games like today. It's where he made his reputation against off Brentford, by coming into games like this and being able to get fucking results out of it.
I
Too
just
many
feel like
excuses.
to lose in this sort of manner, like I think we would have tolerated, if it was a closer game and we just sort of got beat out by the quality of Arsenal and also the fact that they've just been together for such a long time under the same manager. But to lose in this sort of manner, did really people predict us to lose in this sort of manner? If you did, I don't even know why you bothered to watch then the game, to be perfectly honest. Why would you
But
even
then don't
watch the
sit there
game
and say you
if you
believe in the
expected us to
manager.
lose this badly? Why would you even watch?
Do not sit there and tell me you believe in the manager if you're going into this game going, I expect a loss. I don't want to hear it then. Don't sit there and tell people to believe in the manager and that you believe in the guy if you were already expecting a loss going into this.
Paul Markey saying, let's face it, lads, they're just a hungrier and levels above us in quality. We showed absolute jack shit today.
Yeah.
I think that's summed up pretty well, Paul Markey, to be honest.
The hunger is the most evident one out of them all, to be honest with you. Today they were flying into challenges out of possession, hunting us in packs. Us, sit back off them. Have a field day, guys. Have a party.
I think Dave brought that up too, Paul Markey, like during maybe the end of the first half and then kind of into the second half, where out of possession, like Dave brought up, they were pressing us and hunting us in packs, and it just didn't seem to be the case for us at all. Like we were just happy to sit off them, give them time on the ball. Only one player maybe looking to sort of put the press on, no one else looking to sort of help a guy out. It had that sort of difference in hunger levels. And of course, we all knew maybe the quality, there was going to be a massive difference between us, but surely we can at least match them on the energy levels and sort of the aggression and the hunger. But for some reason, we just didn't today. And Paul Markey, I think you're absolutely spot on in that regard. Jerome saying, if we showed bravery in that game, even if the scoreline stayed the same, I would say at least we tried, but that is just absolutely pathetic. North London Derby, and we showed absolutely zero fight. That's where I'm kind of at, Jerome, too, where it does. I mean, it's all recency bias, but it's hard for me to recall a worse performance from a North London Derby than this one. Like, at least in previous ones, even if we did get completely outplayed, I don't know, like, it seemed like we at least had some sort of plan or some sort of idea, like, we at least threatened, like, a little bit. The fact that in this game, we looked wide open defensively, all over the shop, out of possession, and then in possession, we had less than an idea of what we were doing. That's my big worry. It's like when you're kind of failing in both departments. You're not doing anything in possession, and you're not doing anything out of possession to sort of give yourself a leg in the game, and that's my big worry. And to maybe Paul Markey's point and Dave's point, just so little hunger as well from the players to sort of get stuck in, to be able to sort of win challenges, turn the ball over, press the opposition, look to sort of get them to be, a bit nervous on the ball. It seemed like guys like Eze were just sort of having a field day really against us. That's just the bigger worry, man. And
But that's another thing that worries
it's
me,
just
right?
nothing that you can say that we showed of any kind, Jerome.
Two of his goals came from directly in the middle. We set up to block off the middle. We set up
Yeah.
with three centre backs, two midfielders, and another two number 10s to block the middle. So how the
Yeah.
fuck are they getting all that space in the middle to score goals?
Yeah.
It's
100%.
concerning.
Faz Radfar saying one of those seasons already where you feel like you just want to end it now. Depressing.
I'm not
I
giving
don't know
up
if
on
I'm at that stage yet, Faz, but I am at the stage where, like, I do think people have to ask serious questions, of the manager, of the players, just everyone involved. Like, we obviously need a big January, but then, like, this is where people say patience, patience, patience with the manager. It's like, I think that is nice in theory, but like when you see performances like this, it's like, yeah, but what are you patient for? Like, what are you expecting to be turned around? Like, it's very clear that there's not really a whole lot to be taking from these games. Like, we're not seeing like a nugget or a a bit of maybe something to get behind. Like, this is
Yeah.
just downright embarrassing. Like, this is just where you're, like I said, we didn't see anything out of possession to be encouraged by. Defensively, all over the shop. We didn't see anything in possession to be encouraged by. And then also even just sheer desire and commitment and energy by the players. There wasn't really a whole lot to get behind. Those are kind of just the three aspects that you would be looking to maybe get behind, sort of take something from. If you're not seeing anything from any of those departments, I don't know if that can really last. Like, it needs to be changed straight away. But for some of these bigger games, like against Chelsea, like against Arsenal, even I don't know, like the Bodo Glimt even, I know we found out a way to get a
Wolves.
draw, but just being completely outplayed, Monaco as well, like, you're just sort of like it's hard to sort of take any positives, and I think we've said that about more than a few games this season where we're just kinda like, hard to really find any positives in this performance, where usually you should be able to find one. Like, you're actually even if you feel like they're mostly negative, surely you should be able to find something that you can sort of get behind. I struggle with some of these games this season to find anything to sort of take from it. And I think when that's the case with the manager and the players, you can't really hide from that. You just can't hide
Well,
from it.
this is where I don't think, though, Jack, the way Frank manages in general, adapting, to the opposition, and it's not going to be cut out at this level. This is where he does have to develop some principles in terms of in possession, going forward. This is where he is going to have to start developing that side of his game, because otherwise it's not going to work at this level. The reality is we're turning it around every 3 days now. He doesn't have the 7 days like he did on the training pitch, with Brentford, to be able to execute it and drill it. He's literally getting probably one training session now. So, what he done at Brentford is not going to work at Tottenham. This is where he is, because when you're only getting one training session between games, that's where the players just need that clear message. This is our principles in possession, and stuff like that, with very few messages. Maybe, look, this is an area of weakness. Let's try and go and attack that today. But in general, this is where he needs to adapt, because I think anyone that's saying, look, there's been signs of encouragement. Yeah, when the defensive stability was there, but that hasn't been there since the Wolves game. Brighton, Bodo Glimt. We've conceded nearly every game since then. So the reality is, what there was to get behind is no longer there. The defensive resilience is no longer there. Teams are finding it easier to score against us. They're getting more and more shots on goal. And we're not laying a glove on them going the other way. And then when they are in possession, we're just sitting back and saying, come at us. And the reality is, we're saying, come at us, thinking we're going to keep a clean sheet and defend with our lives. We're not doing that. We're conceding nearly every game now. So what is there to get behind? We're not as potent as we were from set pieces earlier on at the start of the season. We can't even get up the pitch to get a set piece now. There's no game plan going forward. We barely fucking score goals now. Defensive stability is gone. What are the signs of encouragement moving forward off of today? But
Yeah.
that was progressively getting worse. And here we are. Now we're at the culmination of it. Now it is literally over to Thomas Frank. Yes, maybe, we could have a better squad available. Granted, I take that. But the reality is, between now and January, in our minds, it's right around the corner. With the amount of games we have to play, it is a long, long way for him yet. And he is going to have to do something to start making us carry a threat going forward. Because if you don't carry a threat going forward, you're going to lose games of football. And that's what we're seeing over the weeks building up. You don't carry a threat going forward, you're going to concede at the other end. And that's exactly the way these games are panning out. And that's why Spurs fans are starting to press the panic alarm. Frank has to change.
I'm going to take some other comments here as we're wrapping up, but feel free at any point,
And
everybody,
lastly,
to,
I
yeah,
don't want to, just sorry, quickly, I don't want to hear him come out the game going, well, I thought we played well, like he's done every other
that'd
fucking
be
time.
hilarious.
I'm out and fucking own it this time.
Yeah, that would be hilarious if he did. Truth be told, Arsenal are a great side, but we made their life far too easy today. I think that's how we stand. I don't think like we were under any illusion that we could, that we should be like, if we even asked a question. Dave asked a great question. Is this a must win? And then, people were saying like, how dare you say it was a must win? None of us answered that way. We were just saying we just hope to stay competitive basically in this game. We want to sort of have a performance that we can take positives from, which I think is pretty low standards to be honest. Like, I don't think that's asking too much of a team really, no matter how good the team you are coming up against, to be outplayed in this regard. Just don't think how you can really find anything to get behind. So I agree with that. It's like, yes, they're a great side, but surely you can make it a bit more difficult for them. Kind of like what we just saw from Sunderland. We didn't show any sort of aspect of what maybe a Sunderland did to them recently.
And the thing is, For weeks we were outperforming ourselves in terms of stats and stuff like that. The reality, and people like me, Jerome, maybe Eugene were trying to say, but look at our attacking stats. We're down the bottom of the league for nearly every single one of them. It's going to come back to bite us. It's going to catch up with us. And what you're seeing is now us slowly going down to where the stats have us.
Yeah. Tottenham Rangers saying, imagine sitting back and doing F all and then conceding 4. That's like I'm saying, like that's a big worry. It's like if you are going to sit back, if you are going to sort of concede this much possession and sort of look to absorb this much pressure, you would think that then you would still stay within like a goal or two for throughout the game. I mean, they had numerous chances. I think actually 4 goals, not even is kind of flattering to us. They probably could have scored maybe more in this game, to be honest. Kieran saying, imagine playing your biggest rivals and not even trying. Absolutely sad. I completely agree. K32.
That's the biggest takeaway. It's just that it's the manner of the performance. We knew it was going to be an uphill task, but at least show some fucking heart in what you're being asked to do. And there was none of that. And that's what's pissed many people off today.
I mean, Super Yid calling me out saying, can't believe you said that, Jack. Why we would watch if we knew we were losing the game because we were passionate about our team. I didn't expect a comment like that from you. I think you understand my point, though. Like, if you're then calling us out for demanding more from the team, but then saying, oh, well, I expected us to lose. Like, why are you guys getting upset? It's like, dude, like, if that's sort of the aspect, if that's the mentality you're going into the game, I really question then why you would call us out then for having some type of standard, some type of belief that we could get something from this game. I don't think Dave and I were expecting to win this game. I think we were just expecting to be competitive. And I don't think we saw that at all. And then if people are going to say, well, I was thinking we were going to lose 5-0, 6-0, it's like, I mean, I personally, if that was me, I wouldn't even watch the game if I was expecting us to lose 5-0, 6-0. That's my sort of that's my standard, really. I don't need to be put through that sort of
But
punishment.
if you're already going in with that, then you don't rate the manager. How can you sit there and have the audacity to tell people to believe if you're already going in with that mentality?
That's another good point. Yeah, like why would you even back the manager or defend the manager if you think we are going to lose 5-0, 6-0? All we were asking is just to be competitive. I think that's the pretty low standard to go by.
It's the bare minimum.
Yeah. I don't think like we didn't ask them to win this game. We just asked them to see if we can be competitive and then hopefully pick up a result. I think that's pretty much the lowest standard you could go by when it comes to a North London derby. And also under sort of a new manager that's supposed to really turn things around from the previous regime as well. Dropkick your teacher saying we just gave them the title. They're about to absolutely fly. I think that was also a big worry, right? As everyone dropped points this weekend and then they absolutely demolished us. I mean, they're probably on cloud 9 at the minute. Artist T.
It's one of them. It's that bad that Vicario has come out and said that, he apologized to everyone who's traveled and sat down and watched the game today. I mean, we've been here before, right?
Swim Master saying we can't keep changing managers, Jack. I'm feeling it too, though. Believe me, I think Frank needs the January and summer window, a full preseason, and then review Frank by the end of the next season. Not now. He needs time.
I get that, right? But it's about having the right manager and backing them. The problem with managers is we haven't backed them. You give Thomas Frank more backing. Are we going to see drastic improvements? Does anyone really believe off base of what we've seen so far and his CV that we're really going to go on and compete for honours? People forget we're off the back of Europa League. Fans are walking into stadiums going, we're European champions. We know what we are. And at the end of the day, even if you do back Thomas Frank, he's still going to employ the same tactics. It's not going to wash. At the end of the day, I get about the chopping and changing manager. I've made that argument myself. But personally, I was waiting for Frank to prove to me he was the right guy. And he hasn't shown me that. A lot of the questions, and I was one of the only ones out there asking these questions at the very beginning, amongst all the fanfare and the happy clapping and everything else, and he hasn't proved me wrong. And that's my big problem. I've been sitting here waiting for him to go, this is what you need to get behind, Dave. And there's no point in throwing money at the wrong guy. And that's my big problem, You look at his career in general, his CV in general. He's never played at the top level. He's never played in European football. He's never gone any distance in any of the domestic cups and stuff like that. It's the wrong guy to be throwing the money at, in my opinion. Because you're still going to get the same results no matter the money you throw at it. Because of the way he approaches game, the way he's teaching these players and stuff like that. It's all about worry about what's coming up. Worry about the opposition. A lot of players that we're buying in with the egos they have, they couldn't give a fuck about the opposition. They want to go and play. And unless Frank learns that, you're going to be in a position where we will end up changing manager. It's not sustainable, this shit. It's just not. And I'm all for backing a manager, but it's got to be the right guy that's proven that he's done it at other places.
Yeah.
And that's where we let ourselves down with a Jose, with a Conte. You know, we never really went back down to the hill that we should have. And now I think we're sort of now in a realms where it's like we realise we've made mistakes with them guys, but now we're just going to back the wrong guy. And I'm not on that.
Yeah. I left at halftime, says Karate FC. Stateside footy, Stevie saying a loss like this highlights just how far we are from the top of the Prem, how far we are from even the top four. Tom McFranks has to develop some principles in his approach to be able to handle these top teams. I think that's pretty well said. Kieran 32 saying, I have a positive Jack. The humiliation is finally over until the next match.
This one hurts today, man.
It's just like, I think I was trying to find the comment, but someone said more or less what I was saying is like, if all you were expecting was just to be competitive, surely that's, pretty much the bare minimum standard. That's where I'm coming from. That's why I was sort of talking about. Like, I think if you didn't even expect us to be competitive, like, I don't know what you're getting. Like, surely then there are huge question marks to be asked about the players.
We changed the manager to
then
be competitive, right?
Yeah.
It's the whole idea why we changed coach.
But I think then, like, if you went into it not even expecting us to be competitive, like, surely then, like, you do have question marks then about the players and the manager and everything involved. Like, I just think that's insane. Like, just to be competitive, like, being competitive means you could lose 2-0. You could still maybe give it somewhat. Maybe you look good in periods, but you have been dominated, but you still sort of hold on and cling on to something. Like, I just think we're talking about, like, the bare standards here, like, the bare minimums, really. Like, and also we're not talking about like as if we're Wolves or like an Ipswich Town or something. Like, we are supposed to be competing in sort of the top half of the table. We're not a team that's like expecting to be relegated, where maybe if you were a Wolves channel or something like that, you'd be like, yeah, we're probably going to get rolled over today, type of thing. Like we're Spurs at the end of the day. Like, we should not be going into a mentality like that where like, oh, I expected us to be absolutely destroyed. Like, if that's the case, then there are huge issues, in my opinion. Tony saying he's a Timu version of Diego Simeone. I wish he actually wore the Diego Simeone suits, to be fair. I think that would make it a bit more fun to watch and nice to see him pacing up and down the touchline. Dropkick your teacher saying, Frank just said today was a complete opposite of what the intention was before coming in, and that we can only apologize to the fans afterwards. Diggers responding to Artist T saying 5 at the back showed the real intention. I don't think we saw any, like, we saw a 5 in the back versus PSG, but we showed so much more hunger out of possession to turn the ball over and cause problems. Like, I don't think a 5 in the back was necessarily the wrong plan. It's just the fact that we did go 5 in the back and we still looked so open defensively is a huge, huge worry. But then also just the way that we looked to put pressure on the ball, there wasn't any at all. There wasn't any sort of hunger to turn the ball over. There wasn't any sort of hunger to put any of the midfielders or center backs under pressure. They found it pretty easy to be able to get the ball in the middle, even though that's what you would think we were trying to take away. Trossard had a field day. Saka, for the most part, had a field day. Like, there wasn't really any sort of threat that felt like was being stifled or neutralized with the back 5 today. And that you would think would be the plan with the back 5, is to cause problems and hopefully then hit them on the break in the transition. And we couldn't do that either, to be honest. But I am glad that he hasn't praised the performance at all, which Dave sort of made a joke of, that at times when we've seen terrible performances, Frank has said, I thought the performance was pretty good at periods. So I'm glad he hasn't said that. Stig saying we're the most negative team in the league. Other teams don't pass the ball backwards as much as us. Other teams look to get a shot on goal at least. We're piss poor. We can't even do the basics. I feel like I've said that a long time. Even last season, I felt like I was saying that. King Hoddle saying we saw today that about half the team just aren't good enough. They will not be here in 2 years' time. Could be the case. I do rate some of these players. Maybe I'm delusional too, but I do rate some of them, and I think they have been made to look pretty awful in the past few weeks. And I'm hard to say, like, Palhinha, I thought actually did the best he could. I didn't think Bentancur was really that bad. I think at times he was one of the only guys pressing. I do think Van de Ven and Romero are world-class center backs. I think Jed Spence, even though he's sometimes a bit frustrating in possession, can be a great defender. Same thing with Udogie. I mean, Richarlison did score an incredible goal. Like, he really, and it's hard for me to even criticize him because, like, we were just launching the ball up to him, hoping that he can hold the ball up with 4 or 5 guys around him every single time. Like, that is a difficult ask. Kudus, I would say, was poor tonight, but I do think we rate Kudus. Odegaard was poor tonight, I have to admit, but that's where I'm a little concerned. Is like, I don't like a lot of the guys that did start this game. Yes, maybe they lack the hunger, but I wouldn't say like individually they're that poor as people make them out to be. I think sometimes they're almost made to look poor. Really.
Just quickly as well, going back to Dropkick's comment there about, Thomas Frank, what he said the intention was and that we didn't execute the game plan. Well, then that's concerning because for whatever reason, either the players aren't taking on board the game plan or they're going against, what Frank is asking them to do, which means Frank isn't getting the message across to them.
Yeah.
So that's concerning.
Yeah. Stateside Footy Stevie saying we can question Frank because it's fair, but we also have players who are just okay with not even playing hard. They're okay with losing or accepting this performance as being accepted. That's what I mean. Like, that's where I think the players can't really hide because last season, right, they finished 17th, had an attack-minded manager that they had a lot of praise for, a lot of love for. They still lost a lot of games, though, and against teams like Leicester City, as well. Like, I think we lost to Wolves, last season 2 times. We lost to West Ham and numerous derbies under Ange, but they came out and defended him. They came out and protected him. And now they have a different manager with a very different style of play. And it feels like we're getting similar sometimes performances where there's just no real effort or hunger levels, like, at all. I don't think the players then can hide in that case.
Yeah. No, look,
Um,
and the thing is, Stevie, no one's, we've said it, the players, I'd love to see it, how much high intensity runs each individual done. Forget about all the other stats. High
yeah,
intensity runs is the one I'd be looking at today, how many of them actually really gave a bollocks. But if your manager is asking you to sit so deep, it doesn't give you the chance to go and put pressure on the ball. What do you want them to start doing? Breaking what the manager's asking them to do and then not play?
yeah,
I think so. There's also that side to it as well. I think the goal we scored, 2 players broke ranks from what they were being asked to do. Jalpalini broke out from the midfield, went and won the ball. Richarlison took a pop shot from 45 yards. They're not things that Frank is asking them to do, but 2 players that went and done what they were told not to do, we went and scored.
Truth be told, saying 5 at the back says bend us over. Never in my life have I seen title-winning teams play 5 at the back. I mean, I would counteract and say Thomas Tuchel, I believe, won trophies at Chelsea with a 5 in the back, and Antonio Conte won trophies at a 5 in the back. I totally get how people don't like a 5 in the back, don't like a 3 at the back, but to say teams that haven't been successful with it, I think you're just wrong. Even look at Xabi Alonso, like at Bayer Leverkusen. He played a 5 in the back, and he nearly went undefeated until the very last game of the season. He beat Bayern Munich and teams with a 5 in the back. So to say that that formation is inherently just losing mentality, I would disagree.
The thing is, I don't even think it's the formation. It's
No.
it's the game plan around the formation.
Yeah. Jimmy Hotspur saying, I'm getting fed up of apologies. Just make it difficult to play against and give 100%. That's what I'm saying, man. That's why I'm amazed I even got called out for saying if you're not expecting that at least, then I don't know. Like, seriously, that's what you should be expecting from a top level Spurs team. Like, you should be able to be expecting at least effort and some sort of type of hunger. And if you're going to go into the games feeling like, well, we're not even going to offer that, we're just going to get pumped 5-0. I'm just like, that's the mentality you're going in with. Like, I don't even see the reason to even bother to show up then to watch the game. Roy Park saying, I'm tired of apologies after games. Where's the heart? No guts means no glory. It's just like we knew we were filing up to lose and just planning to not lose as badly. I mean, we still lost really badly. Roy, I see where you're coming from, though. Tony saying with a super chat, since he took Sarr out of the starting lineup, we have struggled for no reason. It's so split about Sarr, though, Tony, which is funny because Dave and I are huge fans of his. We defend the guy a lot, and we feel like he's really good for the big games. But then there are a lot of people who would say that, he's overrated or is that he only played well in preseason. I just think some of our best performances this season usually have come from Pop Matasar being in the starting lineup and being a key focal point in some of the goals that we scored. Feels like most of the goals we've even scored from open play this season, I feel like a lot of them have been attributed to something that Sarr might have done. So I don't know, man. I think Sarr would have been a decent choice for this game. I mean, the whole lineup selection, the formation, everything, I don't think we saw much of an issue with it. I don't think we want to be total hindsight about it, but the fact that he has dropped Sarr for so many games when he has, in my opinion, been one of our best players has been a bit confusing at times.
Look, I tried to make the case earlier on in the season. Sarr was instrumental in nearly every game we played pre-season, right? Every single game. He scored the winner against Arsenal. Did he either score or was involved in the goal against Newcastle? Brilliant against PSG on the night. Turned over and a ball to get an assist for a goal against Burnley, and also turned over a ball which Mo Kudas crossed for Richarlison's goal against Burnley. Man City forced him into I don't know how many errors, and caused us, helped us score a goal. Same against West Ham, but since then, he's sort of been taken out of the team. You look at a lot of the results that have followed since since he's been taken out of the team. Draw against Brighton, draw against Wolves, draw against Bodo, loss against Aston Villa, draw against Monaco. Um, Chelsea, there's been so many games this season since he's been taken out of the team. The performances have dropped, and I'll try. One thing I've tried to mention, with Papa Matasar, I get maybe he's not the most creative, but if you actually go and look at his stats, he's been more creative than what Xavi Simons has. And this is where Frank has got it wrong. When the team were rip-roaring, we were a beast through the midfield. Paulinho, Bentancur, Sarr, robust, strong, turning over ball, which meant then we were turning it higher up the pitch as well, which meant then we only had one pass and we were in. Now we're sitting so far deep. He's asking them to put 10, 15 passes together. But we have no coach plan around it or what way we're going to go about it, and it's just sort of left up to the players to make up their own minds on the pitch and stuff. And you can see it in the game. Sarr came short from a ball for Vicario, wanted it to get turned and playing. Vicario pumps it long. It shows there that players that aren't really understanding what they're being asked to do and stuff like that. And since Sarr has come out of the team, things have gone tits up. And I think there's a direct correlation to that. I'm sorry, but I think there is, because Sarr gave you the ability to go and press the ball higher up the pitch. Since he's come out, we sit back so far, and no one really gets that pressure on the ball anymore. And Frank needs to realise that if he wants to get the best out of this team, he has to get Sarr back in there and go and be aggressive. It's what got us the wins at the start of the season.
Yeah.
It's a direct correlation to it, my man.
Wayne Bonner saying that was a dog shit performance. Showed no spine, no guts, no passion, no attacking football at all. It's embarrassing. Also follows up by saying, I don't put all the blame on Frank, but he needs to start attacking more. Van de Ven and Romero are getting pissed off during the game. No passion, no hunger, no risks. I did see some frustration from Van de Ven and Romero, and that also is what worries me. I don't think they've been the problem at all this season. And I feel like, you've been watching us going forward and we're just absolutely dreadful. If you were them, being world-class players, in my humble opinion, I think that'd be hard to tolerate, to be honest. Even the biggest of professionals would feel like, what the fuck am I doing here? If this is sort of the way that we're playing, considering that these guys could easily go to Real Madrid or whatever. It would be hard to watch as a player. Jerome saying, how crap we played today because Eze is the first player to score a hat-trick in a North London derby in the last 50 years. Just shows again how much more competitive these games were, though, right, Dave? It feels like the last 3-4 years, maybe apart from the one from Ange and the one from Antonio Conte, a lot of these have just been kind of routes. We just get absolutely destroyed. And the fact that Eze is scoring a hat trick and no player has done that in 50 years, it just shows you for whatever reason, Spurs have just been completely just destroyed in all these North London derbies, and it's just hard to tolerate, really. At least in the past they were competitive. Then that's what we went into the game saying. We just want to see them be competitive. We're not expecting them to win, but at least if we show some sort of effort, intensity, and competitiveness, the game will probably be somewhat close then. But we're not.
But I do think what you're seeing, those two teams going into it with different mentality, and two fan bases going into it with different mentalities as well, to be honest with you, Jack. Because with Arsenal, they're in a situation, was it last season they were carrying so many injuries, or the season before? They still expected their team to come in and win this game.
Yeah.
Still. There's pressure on them to win games. If they don't win games there, even with players, there's pressure on them to perform. With Eze, straight away, pressure on him. As soon as he wasn't, it didn't look like, he wasn't finding his feet, Arsenal fans were putting pressure on him. All of a sudden he steps up today, bangs in a hat-trick. With us, how many people are still sitting there going, give Xavi more time, give this person more time, give that person more time? There's no pressure, there's no demands. We have to start putting this on everybody inside the club. We're paying some of the highest prices. TV money is through the roof. Merchandise is through the roof. We've got to start putting demands on them. We give too many people free passes at Tottenham Hotspur. If this result was the other way around, they'd be pulling out their players and going ballistic. Be pulling out their manager going ballistic. Still look at the chat today. Look how many excuses there are for the loss today. Different mentalities.
Yeah. Um, Wayne Bonner, I think this is a spot on comment about just how worrying the defenses looked. He's saying we had a packed defense today that didn't even handle those simple balls through the area. That's what I'm saying. Like we were looking to try to block the middle. We were looking to sort of frustrate them,
Yeah.
and I don't think we really did. Peter Fallon, big up Peter, saying game was shit, but Paulinho showed up to try and break them apart.
Tried.
I'll look at that as maybe the only positive to support the boys for the next one with my same blind hope. Probably, yeah, Paulinho, I think was positive. Like certain players, I think we just really lacked any idea what we were doing, to be honest. I think like certain players, like I wouldn't accuse them of not. I don't know. Like I thought Jed Spence, like plenty of times, was able to handle his business, and Destiny Udogie, I think, tried his best against Bukayo Saka. I think Van de Ven Romero tried their best on numerous occasions. Like I just think we really lacked any sort of cohesion defensively or going forward. I question more the tactics than I even do sometimes
Yeah.
the players' commitment, because for the most part, I felt like certain players, not every player, but certain players, it looked like they were trying. Maybe that's just me though. Um, Jerome saying 0.07 XG, and Vicario did not save us from embarrassment this time. This is just damning results game after game after game.
Yeah.
How long can we go on like this? I mean,
It's
the
the
fact it
XG's
was 0.0 XG like at halftime, and like I just don't think we can tolerate that, that long, really, Jerome. Like maybe Dave said this earlier, but I did bring up the question. Even though I don't mind defensive football, pragmatic football, I think there's a much shorter tolerance for it if the results start sliding than if you are a more attack-minded manager, a more of a braver manager when it comes to sort of if you are looking to play attacking football. If you start to lose games, if you at least see the endeavor in the attack football, people will sort of get behind it at least, or at least they might have a longer patience for it. But if you play a more defensive, ugly brand of football, especially at Spurs, like I just think, people have a shorter leash for it and a shorter tolerance for it. And the question needs to be brought up. Yeah.
Look, I don't even think people have a mind with the pragmatic football in general, but you still have to show you're better going forward and you have a way of creating
Then we
more
have
than you
been.
do if you want to win games playing that way. And that's all I'm saying. If you want to win games playing that way, you can't be having XGs of 0.05, 0.07. You can't be having XGs like that if you want to win playing games this way. I'm sorry, you just can't. It's not sustainable, Jerome, like you've been saying.
Wayne Bonner saying, I'm with you, Jack. I don't mind defensive football, but we do have to have an attack to at least complement it. Yeah, I think my biggest worry, by the way, Wayne, was just that, and it's recency bias, but we did see just the other day, like Sean Dyche is known as being one of the most ugly football type of managers in the league. But it felt like when they did get the ball back, when they did have possession, they had a clear plan of how they were going to hurt Liverpool once they did have the ball. With us, there's just no plan, no cohesion at all. And I think that's my biggest worry is like if you are going to play defensive football, you need to have still a plan what you're going to do in transition and on counterattacks. And with us, every time we won the ball, even under no pressure at all, just hoof it forward to Richarlison and expecting him to just somehow pull off a worldie, basically. And if that's your plan, you are going to lose a lot of games at
Yeah,
this sort of level. Whereas, again, you see other managers, maybe a Nuno, maybe a Sean Dyche, plenty of other examples. There is at least some idea of what you can tell they're trying to do,
yeah,
in the game. And with us, I haven't seen any.
yeah,
I'm not even trying to praise those guys like Dyche or Nuno or whatever. But I'm just saying, like, at least if they are to play that way, you in plenty of occasions have pointed to, well, they have this sort of clear idea of
yeah.
what they're trying to do when they have the ball. With Frank, it's been hard to picture like what we're actually trying to do at times, other than just set pieces and hoof the
Yeah.
ball up to the striker, really.
Absolutely spot on. Absolutely spot on, Jack.
That's my biggest takeaway because I'm like you. I don't mind defensive football, but there needs to still be a plan going forward when you do have the ball, really.
Yeah.
Um, I've tried my best to take a lot of your guys' comments. I understand plenty of people can disagree with this. I also saw a comment saying, listen, they're saying this about themselves, but they're saying, listen, I'm too emotional to, distraught to make sense of this all. I think that's what sometimes make this a hard job, really, is to try to make sense and try to sort of have the right things to say after performances like this. But, we try our best and we try to give each other therapy and give you guys therapy
Mm.
for it. And I think I brought up a lot of your guys' comments and sort of try to see where you're coming from, even if I might have felt a little bit differently.
Yeah, look,
it-
everyone's emotional. I
yeah,
think clearer heads will prevail tomorrow. People, after it all sets down, the anger and everything else, people sort of, common sense will prevail. And look, we will be doing a fan show tomorrow evening at 7. So if anyone wants to come on and air things, whether it's, for Thomas Frank, against Thomas Frank, in general about North London Derby, come on and have your say, guys.
Yeah. Really appreciate all the support in general, though, today. We tried to get behind the team. I think we all came into it, especially if you heard the pre-match build-up. I think there was a pretty positive mood, like, around the pre-match build-up and everything before the game. But, the players have to show up as well, and they just unfortunately didn't.
Yeah.
Tony saying the squad wasn't built to sit back, in my opinion, shake my head. There was someone who brought it might be it was you, Tony, that made a decent point of, like, with some of the players we have, they don't really strike me as guys that probably want to be playing this way. They probably do want to be playing a system that is a bit more attack minded. And as much as Ange had his faults, there were a lot of players that seemed to have a lot of praise for the guy and had a lot of love for the guy because he was trying to instill a bravery and an attacking like mentality. And with Frank, it's been more or less kind of the opposite. And I wonder how much the players are going to, get behind that. It's a difficult
I
one,
think
really.
it's a very hard one to wrap your head around, though, Jack. When you're being told to focus on you, how great you are, and everything else, and then it's a complete 360, and you're sitting there being told, about how great
Yeah.
they are, and this is why we're doing this because we're limited and everything else. It's
a
tricky
radical
one,
change.
Yeah, it's a radical change, and it's not one that I'm sure we're seeing maybe being executed across.
Yeah. Completely agree. But yeah, listen, I know we're not going to make everyone happy with what we have to say, but it's just how it is after losses like this. Everyone's going to come at it from so many different angles, so many different planes of thinking. But hopefully, we took your comments and took what you had to say. Like Dave said, there will be a fan show tomorrow. Look out for any other content as well. Jerome saying, clear heads after losing 4-1 with 0.07 XG. I am awake since 3 a.m. and I can't sleep because I'm so angry with this disgusting performance.
I got it.
I think we just say that, just to be fair, and maybe we will come at it with a calmer. Maybe we'll probably have the same opinions tomorrow, but sometimes, it is nice to sort of sleep on it and hear what other people have to say, see what pundits have to say in general. But it's also what's nice about the fan show, Jerome, is that, there might be people like you who, probably share a similar opinion to us. And then there might be others, on the panel tomorrow for the fan show that might be looking at it from a different angle. And that's what's kind of nice about it, really, is just to hear different thoughts and different reactions towards it, Jerome. But I agree with you, man. Like, I don't think like Spurs fans can really tolerate that many more 0.0 XGs. Like, that's just insane. Like, when you see an XG that low, it's like, were they even out there? Like, were they even playing?
Yeah.
Like, you sort of was like, were they just traffic cones, out on the pitch, really? That's what's crazy about the Chelsea game and this one. And also, right, two of our biggest rivals, and we're generating 0.0 something XG. It's just crazy, absolutely crazy. Like, when you see that low of an XG, you actually do wonder, was there even a team out there, or was Arsenal just sort of playing against themselves, for 90 minutes? I'm being completely serious. But thank you, Jerome, man. Thank you for all the support. Thanks to so many guys. I know there was a lot of people that got up for this game. Like I said earlier, I think a lot of people were going into this with a relatively positive mentality, like just hoping to be competitive, hoping to give Arsenal at least a decent enough performance. I don't think anyone was saying we have to get a result. We have to, pick something out from this game. Maybe some people were, but I'm not sure if Dave and I were in that plane. I think we were just saying we just want to see a performance that we can get behind, that we can take positives from. I think that's a pretty low standard to live by, really. And I don't think we got that today. So you have to criticize, and you have to scrutinize it. And I am, maybe, and I don't know, like the chat in general and the pre-match buildup for the most part was pretty positive. And then now all of a sudden everyone's like saying, I expected us to lose. I expect us to lose. It felt very different during the pre-match buildup. It felt very different from what I could tell in the chat. But maybe that's just me. But yeah, we'll see you next time, everybody. Come on, you Spurs, as always, and big questions to be asked for future games and future days, which we'll try to answer best we can. See you next time.
See you next time.